Drops it. Takes it to the top. I don't come around. What were we expecting? Well, hello folks, and welcome to the Oceania Qualifier here in Melbourne. We're in urban climb in Blackburn, and we're about to get underway, folks. The Boulder semi-finals, the Boulder round, just about to start here. Welcome to this amazing climbing gym here at Urban Blackburn, here in Melbourne, folks. Listen, I'm joined in the commentary box today. My name is Jason Witten, and I'm not joined as usual by Ian Gilmartin. Ian, welcome along, mate. Good to see you here.
Good morning, Jess. Good morning. Happy to be here. Good morning, everyone.
And folks, we've got a special guest today. We've got Tomo Alrahan, we're our very own Olympian. And Tom, how are you going, mate?
Oh, it's awesome. Amazing to be here. A bit of a change of pace to my usual competition weekends, but yeah, really excited to join you guys and see what it's like on the other side.
We're very excited to have you in the box because Ian and I would call ourselves maybe weekend warriors when it comes to climbing. Yeah. You're the real deal, so we're looking forward to your commentary and observations on the climbing today. But why don't we dive into it, folks? The climbing and the competition will start pretty quickly today. And why don't we have a look at the lineup? It's pretty randomised today, which is the qualifiers, and tomorrow we will the semi-finals, and we'll be looking at a proper lineup tomorrow for the top 8. But today, who have we got lined up? It's pretty straightforward. Campbell, Ben, Finn, Alan, Jake, Sam. Now let's have a look at that one. Quitugwa and Oscar, George and Joshua. Now we've got competitors from
Australia, New Zealand and Guam, which is super exciting. The Olympic qualifiers last time, basically due to the COVID restrictions and all that sort of thing, it made it pretty difficult for international competitors to come to Australia and be a part of that competition. So it was kind of just Australia. So it's amazing to see more countries being represented here, and it really adds some depth to the competition and a real international feel to it.
That is for sure. So we do have 19 competitors, so we might go to the next lineup here, which is the final 9 here. We have had one drop out, unfortunately. Somebody had an injury, so but we've got Finlay.
Wish them well, yeah.
Yeah, indeed. Finlay, Dylan, Angus, Max, Henry, Alexander, AJ, Maxim and Spencer. Now, there's no order to this today, folks. It has been randomly chosen. Those who finish in the top 8 will come out tomorrow in the regular order. So let's have a quick look at the female lineup as well. We do have a full contingent of 20 competitors. Again, we've got a mix of competitors from all countries.
Yeah, it's fantastic again. Just to show what we've got down here in athletes for the Oceania region. Yeah, really great. And it's going to just add a little bit of pressure to have a longer wait time. There's more things happening, so athletes are really going to need to keep it together.
We've got Misha, Atako, Oceania. Now, you know Osh pretty well.
Yeah, we've spent a bit of time together overseas. Spent, Tokyo 2020, 2021, hanging out.
All right, folks, we've got our first competitors up, so here it is. You can hear the crowd going.
Campbell Harrison stepping out onto the mat. This first boulder, I was having a look before. It looks a tricky boulder to begin with. The females have got a similar type of tricky boulder. Essentially, it's difficult to really see what a sequence is going to be here. You're really going to have to get on there and feel it out, and that's going to be testing the athletes to see how good their warm-up was. Like, how are they feeling? Are they feeling confident with their movements and everything?
Well, he looks pretty confident so far.
Yeah.
Straight into it. Well done.
It's a bit of I was going to say it looks like a baptism of fire when we were down there. I don't have your expertise, Tom, but I was looking at it thinking, geez, this looks... I don't know where I'd begin, like you say. I mean, we were describing Cam before, you know, he's such a battling mentality. Sort of a great boulder to suit his style, really, you think?
Yeah, he's definitely someone that just... I'm always impressed with how many attempts he can just pull out in a round, and he will quite often do a powerful boulder after 10 attempts and then back it up boulder after boulder after boulder. It's impressive, the horsepower that he's got.
Yeah, he's exactly that at Nationals. We were watching him, and he just never stops. You know, it's you think, 30 seconds on the clock. He's given it 8 attempts. Here he goes again, and you know he's such a impressible, and there's so many of them this weekend that I'm so excited to see for these exact reasons. They're just such a varied skill set, and first time for seeing some of these Guam athletes as well, which is exciting.
And you were talking, Ian, about the ages of some of the athletes. I mean, you know, it ranges from 16 or something all the way to 30.
Yeah, exactly. 39.
Our first female athlete here.
And 16, yeah, so it's exciting. So
Misha.
So Misha Bowman here is also a New Zealand athlete as well, as you can see by the jersey if you're at home. They're cool New Zealand jerseys. They're actually really nice.
The feet on this are very bad. And like I was saying about the men's boulder, it's going to be a slow boulder, and the athletes are really going to need to be trusting their feet. I see Campbell coming up making a Gaston of that. I'm seeing the chalk on the right-hand side of that volume or box.
Maybe something a little bit more.
Maybe we need to see his right hand pop out there.
There's a little jib on there that maybe for the foot or a thumb, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a fridge.
But let's have a quick talk about how the scoring works, Tom. I mean, this is a little bit different to your version of the world when you went to the Olympics.
Yeah, basically...
Different scoring system?
We've got a revised scoring system, which I think works a little bit better than what we had previously. So 25 points is on offer per boulder. If you get to the top on your first go, you get 25 points. If you get to the top on your second go, so you took one fall, you get 24.9 points. So basically, for every fall you take, you lose 0.1. And then there's the checkpoint holds. You can see there 5, 10, 25. So wherever you got to, the highest point you got to and the number of falls, you're losing that 0.1. Hopefully that makes sense.
And then Campbell crimping on the... Well, you can crimp into the screw holes, folks. If you're sitting at home going, what are all the holes in the wall? Well, you can't use them for your hands, but on the edges of the volumes, these boxes on the wall here, folks, you can use the screw hole, Tom. Is that a little bit of a a bit of a tactic deployed often.
Yeah, sometimes the purist in you goes, oh, I'm definitely not going to be using that. And then it comes to the heat of the moment, and that's anything goes.
If it's legal, I'm using it.
Yeah, you're doing yourself a disservice.
Down to the fingernails. Well, the start on this one too was a little bit of a run start as well. So the action will fire up here a bit, folks. We will, at the midway of this competition, or the semi-finals this morning, we will have 8 competitors on the wall at the same time. We will do our best to get all the action. But in the semi-finals, it's pretty action-packed. So we'll get the best we can. But here we go. We've got Campbell up and trying to make progress.
He's really not fancying the outside edge, is he?
And I think we see here one of the very few weaknesses. One of the very few weaknesses of Campbell is that hip mobility.
Yes.
He certainly makes up for it in many other ways, but it looked a struggle to get those feet.
Yeah. Okay.
Mate.
And I think that if you can't see at home, that big red volume does actually protrude quite a lot. So when he was trying to get his leg around, it's actually quite offset, so it will really turn your body as well. It's quite deceiving, the camera angle, but yeah, it sticks out a heap.
There you go. Well, you can. It is the male-female together, folks. The Boulder semi-finals. We will have 19 competitors in the male and 20 in the female. And you do hear the clocks beeping in the background. Tom, what is that? So a 5 on, 5 off. That's kind of an on-site format for this Boulder competition in the semis. Talk everyone through that. How does that work?
Yeah, so essentially we've got those 4 boulders there, and you get 5 minutes to perform one boulder, and then you pop back into the isolation zone and have your 5 minutes of rest, and then you pop back out for boulder number 2. Those 5 minutes for me would always just be take the shoes off, chill out, try and get rid of the boulder that has just happened, whether it's like the excitement of having topped it or the disappointment of having not. You just put it behind you and go, okay, cool, next one. We're focusing on the next boulder, and obviously on site as well, so you don't know what is to come.
You haven't seen them.
You haven't seen it. Yep. The boulder is shown to you as you step out there for the first time to try and climb it in 5 minutes.
Yeah, and hence you get another minute. In the finals, it'll be 4 minutes.
Yes.
And you will get some observation, so a little bit different.
It's quite an important skill set as well, you find, that like being able to shake off the previous boulder. Because you do see a lot of people when they come back out, you can see it sort of still burdens them if they haven't topped it. So
yeah, the mental aspect of these boulder rounds and the whole competition weekend is just like massive. The more that you can just chill out and just do your best for what's in front of you, the better. We've got Ataku here running up. Very balancy start there, finding, she's got to get...
I don't know if that was a start, I was going to say.
So for those watching at home, those tape marks on the holds represent a limb that needs to start on each of the holds that are taped. So if there's 2, we see here on the women's boulder, there's 2 tape marks on 2 holds, so it's 2 limbs, 2 feet, 2 hands is the obvious one for there. There's a few cryptic ones that show up sometimes, and there's a couple coming up later in the comp. So you've got to show control, and that's kind of your start checkpoint.
Yeah, well, Atako's also the shortest competitor or definitely one of the shortest competitors in this competition as well. So it's always interesting to see the betas that she's going to create. Ben's hair is also incredible. It needs a mention, I think. It's a phenomenal haircut. But yeah, let's see her go here, because it looks such a big move for her when she's 4'11".
She's making decent progress though.
Yeah.
Now, would that count for the 10? Now you've got to have control or at least move on that. So,
I would call that not being a judge, but she's kind of used it to transition her body around a little bit, or it might be debatable. We'll see what the judges think.
We shall see.
We do say it's a thankless task being a judge, don't we, Jace? We like to not make the decisions up here, so we'll let you do it, Tom. You can call it.
And it's easy to call from the comfort of the chair up here, but there you go. So we do have not a massive crowd here today, folks. All the athletes are allowed to have a +1, and there's coaches and a few VIPs and et cetera, but it's all about the competitors today. There are a couple of Olympic spots available for those who might win today as well. So that's part of the attraction of the competition here, the qualifier here in Melbourne, the Oceania. But there's a long way to go. There's a fair bit of work to do before we get anywhere near that. So 2 days worth of climbing and effort for the competitors. It's a slow start now, but I'm sure it'll get wound up real soon.
And if you are just tuning in because you've got a family member or a friend competing, to give you an overview, this is the semi-final. We have the lead this afternoon as well, and then we'll have the finals of these two on Saturday, and then the speed on Sunday. So realistically, cancel your work for the weekend, plug yourselves into the IFSC or the Sport Climbing Australia YouTubes, and sit down and make yourself coming, because we've got a heck of a lot of entertainment.
Well, 3 days of the best athletes in the Oceania region, and it's going to be fantastic. But
this is tricky here. I think what the route setters were all, the way I kind of read it here was in that position that Atako was in, really swing the trailing leg, which is the left leg, out onto that volume and get some opposition. Yeah, opposition on number 10 and get your body to the left side of number 10. Obviously, it's easier to read from here and not on the mat. Sometimes you can come up with the best plan that seems absolutely bulletproof, and then you step onto the wall and it just doesn't work.
Well, if I think there was anyone in the commentary box we might give some weighting to, it'd be you, Tom. Maybe myself and Ian might be a little less trustable in that, but
one of the few times I'll say stub, absolutely. But I think the thing about the boulder is when you see it as well, again, it's the optical side of, you go, okay, it's slabby, it's balancy, it's slow. To make that mental challenge, actually have to do this bit fast, can be a lot more challenging, I guess.
Yeah. All right, so here you go, guys.
Osh McKenzie.
Osh is up and at it. She's been doing great in the World Cups.
Oh, she has had an incredible year.
Yeah.
And just the last couple of years, really. I think talking to her at Tokyo after the competition, she was pretty excited to leave speed behind and really concentrate on her pet discipline of bouldering. And she's absolutely a very, very, very good lead climber as well. And she's just doubled down on that, and it just looks awesome. She's had such an incredible year. Made finals a couple of times at the World Cups. Ooh, I'm liking the look of M2 here.
It looks exciting, looks fun, and it's certainly one I think we'll see some a bit of a crowd pleaser on, isn't it? That type of boulder problem.
Yeah, and it seems like the women's too as well is a similar kind of coordination type boulder. So we've seen the athletes being tested in their balance and their composure. Here we go, Osh. Oh, nice. Stands up tall so into that. Yeah. She is probably the tallest of the female athletes here, which sometimes works to your advantage, and I think sometimes cannot. Is the coordination.
Yeah, you see it in a lot of comps. If you watch a lot of comps, like you say, the shorter athletes, they're not always persecuted. There are boulders that definitely suit them, where they're more boxed up or compact.
Oh, here we go, Campbell.
This is Campbell's, sweet spot.
That looks good.
Yeah, that was
first top of the comp. Well done.
Nice to get that in early there.
Well, it does. Well, the holes look a bit bigger on that one. So, but the way they're facing certainly is sometimes a bit of an optical illusion from the ground.
And Finn's trying it a different way as well. There, Finn
has got a cheeky toe.
Yeah, Newton House. Yeah. And then he abandons it when we comment. But thanks, Finn. But no, it's he's trying everything. This is the thing. Like, we often see it as well. I don't know what your approach is, Tom, yourself, but some people will read a climb one way and they'll, not stubborn, but they will stick to it and pursue it that way, where others will try a medley of different ways of reaching the top. What's your
nice Osh there. Really got to trust the foot here. You can see she's in a bit of a barn door. Yeah. Once basically the hips are really wanting to swing hard to the left there, and just using all the core tension between her feet, hips stabilize. She's going to fire up strong through the shoulders.
Oh my goodness. No.
That's that barn door. That was the fight to the end there.
That was.
You can see her gritting her teeth.
And so delicate, but also so physical at the same time.
Oh, incredible. Look at this. Here we go.
Wow,
that's that barn door. Everything wanting to swing to the left. And I think one of the biggest things that is not spoken about too much with good climbers is their ability to fall. It's very underrated, but when you do the amount of climbing and falling that I have done and a lot of these athletes have done, you learn how to fall properly, fall safely. I'm wondering on this boulder, you check there's the gap between the starting two blocks. I wonder if there's a cheeky heel-toe cam there.
Underneath there.
Which then would allow you to kind of release a little bit of pressure and get your hand off to the right.
With your right foot, and then get your left up.
Sometimes the setters do cheeky things like that, and it's kind of just there. Sometimes the climber can just read too much into it.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. Like we said, we're hoping we get a word with some of the head setters later in the day and see if that was their intended beta.
Well, most of the finals have been set, so but they will tweak it, I think, once we see what the competitors do. But Osh back
wonder
at
if
this
Osh is going to go the same method or a bit quicker, perhaps.
Wow, come on.
Delicate.
Yeah, she's holding it. Oh my goodness.
That looks really good, though. It looked like she maybe just lost a little bit of tension. Felt like maybe she was.
I think her foot popped at the bottom there just a little at the end. Yep. Now 30 seconds is enough time. Maybe that one doesn't climb that fast, but maybe enough time to get it done.
Yeah, there's definitely a bit of a game to play when you come to the end of your boulder round or the end of your allotted time. Do I have another crack? Do I really think I could do it? Or do I save my juice? Because obviously a lot of these athletes very early in this round and very early in the weekend, and if you end up having an extra attempt on several boulders and you're too tired, that's a lot of extra climbing that gave you no result, and you can maybe at the lead at the end of Sunday. Could be the difference between getting another couple of holds up. And
especially like there's like for Ben Abel, for instance, he's doing the speed as well, so he'll be doing all disciplines this weekend. I believe he's the only one, or maybe also I think there's potentially Mr. Bond who's doing all of them as well. But most of the athletes are just doing speed or leading boulder.
I'd expect Ben to do quite well on this boulder. He's quite good at that powerful dynamic coordination.
Yeah, we were talking about the Nationals. He'd just done a month in Japan competing and training over there as well, and obviously got a lot of that flowy dynamic style and the mix of power. And he was the only one who stuck the big dyno move there, and he looks so comfortable in this sort of style.
It's interesting here, you jump up into that start position and then they have to almost backwards climb to get the left hand on. There you go, Ben.
Very comfortable in that, wasn't he?
And again, for you at home, the shine. Oh my goodness!
Nicely done. A little bit of a different finish there. Campbell controlled this second last hold. And then a little left hand pop. Ben's decided to do it all in one. I'm really excited to see this boulder. These holds not so good, and I think that's for the women. So right hand on number 5, and then I think a quick paddle across, right hand, left hand quickly in, and right hand out again, and a
stomp that foot out. Yeah.
So we've seen Alan Lactoan here, and on the female boulder as well, it'll be Isabella, and there she is, Dimenshi. So Domeneshi, I should say. So they're starting their first one as well, and we can see Atako still working on female boulder too. But yeah, it's very interesting. There's a real big mix of styles in these boulders. They've done really well, the route setters, so credit to them here at Urban Blackburn, of setting such a range of skill set testers, I guess you would say. And
they do try to slab, powerful, something or other, and it depends on the terrain that they've got. But was that always what was the one that you'd prefer to have first or last, Tom? Often people say, I'd prefer to not have a slab or whatever it is, but did you have a preference?
No, I preferred to just get on and get into it.
Get on with it, yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely that feeling of coming out, all of the nerves of an entire weekend. You've got everything ahead of you, and then you're face to face with a delicate slab. That can be a little bit off-putting, but if you can pull your mind together and make it happen, it's a massive confidence boost. So, yeah, but there's definitely that feeling of like, oh, if you can get out there and just throw down some power, and it's like getting one out of the middle of the bat in cricket in the first couple of balls. It's like bang off to the out to the boundary, and you've got your eye in from
You
there.
obviously never saw me play cricket. I didn't have any boundaries.
Just cheeky singles.
Yeah, cut past gully. But it's very interesting to see this here. And do you, when you're in the back, do you think it affects the athletes? Because we were speaking about it a bit as well. You hear the cheers. Obviously, you're not sure if it's for the male, the female, which boulder it's for, but you're hearing the crowd cheer. And do you let that affect you, or just try and zone it all out as well? You know,
yeah, different athletes have got a different approach for this. For me, I tried to tune it out as much as possible. So I might just like try and zone off into my own world, or put my headphones on and listen to the iPod or something like that. Because it doesn't matter what anyone else has done. I'm concentrating on me and doing the best that I can do. Whatever has happened with everyone else,
nothing you can do about that.
Nothing I can do about it. So I want to just show up and just pull on with an open mind and do my best. But some athletes really enjoy knowing, like, oh wow, there's been a few quick tops. This is one that I can do, and they get some confidence from that. So for me, that doesn't quite work, and suddenly I end up going, oh. I choke a little bit, so I like to find my own space.
That's really interesting, because I do see a lot of the athletes will stick their headphones in and, you know, listen to some music and such, and just zone it all out until they're given the tap that out they come again. And other athletes, who if they hear the cheers, they go, oh, well, that means it's doable. I know there's a way. People are getting it, and you know, trust their ability. So it's really interesting to get it in, because there is the two ways of looking at it.
Yeah.
Well, Atako choosing to have a rest on that one. She wasn't making, you know, progress past that midsection, but we've still got Alan here, our first competitor from Guam, making a start.
Yeah, I was so excited to see the athlete competitor list and see a few athletes from Guam as well. Rather than just Australia and New Zealand. We really like to showcase as many of the athletes in the climbing that we've got down here in the Oceania region.
Absolutely. Well, I think Ian and I were talking about this, Tom, like the prevalence of really good centres like Blackburn here today, bouldering and climbing gyms. Doesn't matter what geography you live in. If there's a good gym around, you can get strong, and especially these young athletes, unbelievably strong.
Oh, it's amazing, and they've just grown up on this coordination style. It's so different. You know, I'm only 31, but the style of climbing and indoor climbing has just changed so much in my time.
Yes.
Started climbing in 2004, and you just look lovely from Osh.
Oh, wow.
Stopping in that middle one.
In the middle, that is insane.
We weren't expecting that, but Osh said, all right, I'll just do a one armour on the middle one and
it's
just...
coordination, little pop here.
Too.
Looks like right, left.
Yes. Well done. All right, well... That's why she's out there in the World Cup. Well done, Osh.
Very good.
Yep. Big smiles as well. That was good too. And there's Campbell.
Yeah.
This boulder looks difficult. Oh, here we go. Little cross under.
Oh my goodness.
He's strong.
Yeah. There's a low crimp there. And stand up and push up shoulders maybe. Oh!
Yeah, so the setters have blocked that final 25 hold on that, and Campbell just had precision accuracy to get in there.
Absolutely, spot
on.
on.
It's a little letterbox slot.
Yep. He nailed it very nicely, so well done.
Starting to get a little bit of action on the walls, which is awesome to see. We've got a few more competitors out and a few people getting to the top and seeing some progress.
So we've got Mackenzie out here for...
It's a little bit difficult to see on the screen here, but just where she is now, there's a small transition in angle in the wall there. So you really need to roll the body around, which is kind of tricky to coordinate, and your hips are kind of going in one direction, and then they've got to swoop back in and stay close to the wall there.
Yeah, and
this is looking really good, though. If she can commit to that right foot, that looked very good. Aside from Osh, I think that looks like one of the better attempts that we've seen from the women on that boulder.
And do you think she could do it with the palm, or has got to get the foot out? The palm didn't look as stable as the foot, maybe.
The palm could work, but yeah, we'll see. It's always difficult to tell. And some athletes, they're obviously the setters have an idea of what they want a athlete to do, but then it's up to the athletes to try and read the kind of intended sequence, and then also just trust their instincts as to cool, I'm a lot better at maybe pushing into that iron cross kind of shoulder position.
Then something else.
And then has good hip mobility to maybe swing that foot up. So
I think that's what we saw with Osh. She just trusted her read of the beta and she just stuck with it and put that foot down so confidently and just, even if it wasn't right, she made it right. But
I think one of the things too that you can't see on the screen, but those big white holes to the left where those small jibs are screwed on, they're dual texture. So the top of them is plastic. It's slippery. There's no grip on it. So it actually it ups the ante on these footholds. They have to be very precise as well.
Yeah, standing on the dual tex is very, very difficult. There is zero friction, and you've just got to trust.
And that is why I think we see, in modern day, we're seeing so many young athletes, 16, 17, 18-year-olds dominating the scene, is because, in the 6 years they've been climbing, 7 years they've been climbing, they've been in gyms like this where, I'm glad you said only 31 because me and Jason are both a bit older. But, like we start, it's a boulder pad in, a gymnastics mat under traditional crimpy, static sort of, and they call it old-fashioned traditional climbing. And now it's so much more dynamic and so much more hold variation, like big volumes. And I think Australia actually uses volumes better than a lot of countries. But so many volumes, so much dual text and things floating around now. It's just they've had that since a young age where, climbers plus 25 have had to adjust basically to this more dynamic parkour dual style and obviously the whole variations.
Yeah, very much. There's definitely something to be said for just growing up and eating those sorts of holds and movements for breakfast. And like I was saying before, with a climber needing to read what the route setter is asking of them on the boulder, you're doing that on a minute scale in the competition. But as a whole, those older athletes needing to transition from that older style. Here we go.
Yes.
Funky. Close.
We haven't seen a top
progress
on that one yet. Yeah, we haven't seen a top on that one, but we've seen, I think, Campbell got up to the 10 as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
But plenty of athletes to go, folks. We're only just getting started. The action
that
is
women's
warming
green's
up.
looking powerful as well. We saw that previous athlete hanging on that edge, needing to kind of get a cheeky little match in with her hands, and then what looked like just a jump up to
something pretty desperate.
Yeah. And then swing a foot up and go again to the top.
Yes, so we see Ben Abel come back out again. So obviously Campbell now with 2 tops from his 3 attempts. Ben with the top on the last one. And the latest 2 out, we'll see Sam Lavender on male 1 and Rochelle Andrews taking on female boulder number 1.
And Sam's
a good athlete.
Sam's had a bunch of good showings at a few of the comps. Yeah,
he's done really well. He's just kind of ticking along in the background as one of those athletes that you kind of hear whisperings of, and then you see him come out, and he's a really good athlete and gets out on the rocks a bit as well. I've seen him out in the boulders, and so a real kind of climber.
Yeah, I think
the
it's
outdoors.
great, and I think also he's done a lot of route setting over the years for the youth nationals, and he's part of a lot of setting teams under his gym, the sister gym of this one up in Brisbane. And I think a lot of these climbers setting routes as well, and having that mix of indoor and outdoor, it's only going to benefit them, isn't it, along the road, really?
It certainly does help, that's for sure.
Hang
Ben,
on. He's using the edge there. I'd love to see how he got into that position.
He's following your
trust in the feet, really squeezing everything through that right foot and a little bit of squeezing on the left.
Goodness, you're taking that right hand off as a
come on, mate.
Yeah. I think he's going to go right first on that.
Is he going to try and swap? No,
it's a small hip.
Still going left first.
And he's trying to crimp into that hold on the side too instead of push up.
Oh, that's a devastating feeling to be there. But he's got plenty of time left. 3 minutes left on the clock.
Yeah, still the current high point. So Ben's come around this the other way.
Now he's got to swap his hands here, doesn't he?
Yeah, Campbell read that sequence well from the beginning.
Yeah.
And reading the boulders before we went live, I figured a few athletes would do that because the sequence of just going left, right, is very obvious until you get to that point.
And you're like, okay.
And you're going to need your left hand, as we saw from Campbell,
Yep.
on number 10 so that you can roll out to that low right-hand side pull.
And it's certainly not over. It's not as easy as it looked. You know, there is that very, need for that accuracy for that top letterbox slot at the top there. So
Yeah,
it's a blocked hold.
They're tiny little holds in deceptively steep terrain as well. They kind of look like little ping pong balls just screwed onto the wall there.
Seeing how Alan goes here. So, I was noticing I think he's actually living in America, Alan.
Is that
the
right?
Guam athlete. Yeah, San Diego, it said before. So I was just, wondering how he'd go, because obviously...
Well, Atako's matching on
Atako.
Yeah, Atako's matching on that one, and I was wondering the same sort of thing with the right, left, right, or other way around. But again, that just... It becomes powerful real quick, that one, doesn't it? All right.
It's a very
Let's see what
interesting
Ben's
day,
got.
because Atako's one of the athletes I caught up with earlier, and he said, oh, he's got it, there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Ben's got it. And Campbell held that little foot pop. Ben not able to.
So it's Sanders.
We've got Sam back up into a pretty good position here. Let's see how he transitions his right foot across there. Really trusting the smears. There's no foothold on the edge there.
He looks a bit more
That's a
comfortable
nicer
here.
position.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and
Sam.
again, mate.
Well,
Difficult.
He is the most unflustered looking person I've ever met in my life, I will say that.
well,
Come on now,
he
man.
was making progress there. Like, I mean, that was a little better. You would say odds on if he gets to that position again, we should see a top.
Come on, Alan.
All right.
Full commitment on that jump.
All right, Ben over there. Here we
If you
go.
look, yeah. So we've got Sam back.
A top on this one from Sam would be very good. No one else has gotten that full 25 points. And we can see that hold that he's got there, the second last hold is 10. And that's the best that anyone's gotten so far. So if he can get the top on this, he's 15 points ahead of everyone.
That helps a lot, that's for
going
sure.
into Boulder number 2.
Yeah.
Oh. Good save, good save. See
Full
Taco in the
commitment
background
onto
to
that
that jump.
feed.
Deep breath.
Come on, Sam. Come on.
And he's got,
That's it. That's devastating. Falling 3 times with that last hold in your hand. So this is where I was talking about. He's just going to need to go back into that isolation area, just chill out and try and put that behind him.
yeah.
He was climbing really well. It looked like he was trusting his feet and doing everything well. So there's good confidence that you can take from that, and just relax for those 5 minutes that he's got now and come out and give everything.
Yeah, sometimes those heartbreaker finishes, right? It's the hardest move is the last one.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And our first look at the M4 and women's 4 as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
This one for the men's, the red on the left of your screen with Campbell there. It's going to be difficult. It's another one where it looks like...
and it's deceptively flat looking here on the screen, but that is very steep starting terrain.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Where you start on where the M4 sign is, that's probably 60 degrees of wall. And then that next transition is probably the best part of 45 or 50 degrees. So it's very, very steep. Your feet are going to want to ping off. Campbell's going to have to go left hand up here. Oh. Very nice. He is
Powerful
so
with
strong
that
in his
pitch.
arms.
Oceania looking... dueling tops, this will be fantastic to see. Come on, guys. Yes.
Yeah, and they're
Good
waiting
job,
for each
team.
other now.
Both athletes.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
wow.
My goodness. They couldn't finish without each other.
Far out.
Wow. It's so much
Well, there you
power.
go. That action-packed, folks. That's
So
awesome to see.
we're seeing Michael Quitagua now as well, and that's the last of the Guam athletes going out
Heartbreaker.
for the men.
I think, Tom, Ian and I say it all the time. We shouldn't say anything about people
Yes.
making tops because every time we do, they fall off.
Yeah.
Ice just a little slip at the top there.
Campbell was so close there as well. Far out.
All right. Well, the action keeps on going, folks.
We've got Claire here on Boulder 1, Claire Cheffing. So we've still not seen anybody top this first one, have we? So
Mackenzie was close, but
Yes.
Osh Mackenzie, that is.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
all right.
So for the athletes like Campbell and Osh, just then, they'll be wanting to take a really good long break now. They know that they can both do it. You'll probably be taking a minimum of kind of 2 minutes from when they hit the ground, so there's probably another minute left of rest for the two of them.
And how long would you leave at the clock? Like 30 seconds, 40 seconds? Like what's your strategy?
It'll depend. I always, if I'm having a second go and I'm feeling good, I'll probably give myself kind of room for 2 attempts. You know, if there was a silly foot slip or something like that.
Yep.
There's no points for style or anything like that. So you just got to give yourself every possible opportunity to get up it, because that's at the end of the day, if you get up it, you get up it.
I guess that's one of the factors, isn't it? Is when you get that close to the top on your first attempt, they both can say, "Oh look,
did she get? Was that a top?
A hand's been raised as if she got it, and she's walking off. Yeah.
Okay,
that's looking good. That was tight.
And Campbell's going to have his attempt now as well.
So basically what the judges are looking for, control. There's not a time limit as such. They're looking for you to grab the last hold with both hands and show control. So control can be shown in 2 seconds, or you could be out of control, swinging off slowly like we saw with Osh on women's 1. She held that hold for a long time, but there was no control. Come on.
That's ridiculous.
Again, another heartbreaker finish.
Wow.
I wonder if it's the right hand up first, but maybe. I don't know. That doesn't make sense. I can't see the angle.
Yep. Oh, that'd be horrific.
Campbell does now have time for another attempt. So this is where he'll probably leave it for 30 seconds to go. Maybe a little bit less. It's a quick boulder up through there.
Okay,
and he's just going to put it all on red.
He knows which bit to brush, so doing his own brushing
here on M3.
Okay, you haven't got time delay on your feet, have you?
And there's
the top
there's
from
the instant,
Osh.
Yep. Replay. Yeah.
Here we go, Campbell.
Come on, Campbell.
30 seconds to go.
And that's
this
a
is the
powerful
last
move
of his
too.
boulder round. Very hard on the arms.
This is that battling mentality we spoke about, isn't it? It's just, unlucky.
Just powered out.
Well done. Yeah, he says he's pumped. And the thing is, again, this is it, although it's Boulder 4, they have a short break and then they'll be coming back for the lead qualifier. And we've seen them, they haven't. And he's doing the right thing, resting.
Yeah.
The lead routes are big. And for a lot of those athletes like Campbell, he would be backing himself to get a spot in finals, especially after that boulder round. It's looking really, really good.
Yeah.
So it's about not only today and that boulder, but the energy and emotional regulation over an entire weekend. So he's got to be thinking about tomorrow as well.
Yep.
And if you're a non-climber watching and just supporting family and friends, there is quite unique about this sport, obviously in climbing, is skin management as well. It's not just your fitness or your muscle fatigue. These holds are obscenely abrasive. If you've not been to support your friends or family, or if you're just watching as a neutral and just thinking about starting climbing, please do. But yeah, these holds are all pretty sandpapery, very abrasive. And another thing is, every time you jump for a hold or you catch, there is an element of wear on the skin, so that's something that they have to manage over a competition weekend as well.
Yeah, it's a warm day here in the gym, and with so many people in here, it gets quite humid and hot quite quickly. Sam, a little bit different there.
Yeah.
On that method.
Trying to static
it. Puts him in a bit of a pickle.
Well, he did static it. Okay.
He's got a great wingspan.
Toe hook to toe hook here, Willie.
Oh
wow, look at that.
Oh my
Pops in a heel. Nicely done. That's very different. Don't know if the route setters would have seen that.
Well, that's breaking the beta right there, folks.
Wow.
Oh, close. So he was going something similar to what Campbell did, where it was trying to control that second last hold. Wonder if he's felt that was a good sequence, or maybe he'll go for the double like we saw Ben Abel do.
He definitely looked really in control until that point. It was really unique. So this is a taco trying boulder form. Ben Abel as well.
Keen to see this one. So interesting. I read it a couple of different ways. Yeah, there we go. So I was wondering whether it's like a very big dyno, maybe not the beta. But yeah, jumping up to what was hold number 10, or 10 points, and then coming into the undercling. That's the showpiece way. It's probably the least efficient way.
Yeah, well, it's what we want to see, though.
Yeah.
This is Amanda Speedhead, another taller athlete again, and we see Sam just...
So he's changed his beta there. Obviously didn't feel like the control on that second last hold was the way to go. So now he'll be in two minds because he kind of has had a similar result on both.
Do you change your beta up?
What do you commit to? And with 3 minutes to go, yeah, there's time, but it's definitely a boulder that's going to juice him, drain the batteries a little bit.
It's Arco here, one of the shorter climbers, and has to work a little bit harder in those sorts of moves.
Yeah.
Yep. But again, you see in the World Cup, Brooke Rabbitou and some of the best in the world are 5 foot something.
Yeah.
5 foot nothing, some of them as well. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I think there's strengths and weaknesses for being tall or being short.
Yep.
I would say the shorter athletes need to learn to have a little bit more an explosive power so that they can get through some of those moves. And then the taller athletes really need to be working on flexibility so that they can kind of get themselves in those really bunched up positions. And then the idea for these climbs is that there should be a method for the shorter and taller athletes.
And is that, have you done much route setting in that space, Tom, or is that something that, through your competition travels?
Yeah, I haven't done too much route setting, but I sometimes daydream about but yeah, I've spent enough time picking the brains of
a few of the route setters.
A few of the route setters who are friends and competitions and that sort of thing. A minute to go on this bouldering round. And it's really interesting to hear how the route setters get difficulty from a boulder. So like we were talking before, giving an athlete just a balancy thing to come out with, like, it's hard. You've got to control your nerves and do all that sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, and it changed, big presses and different things, and, a whole different set of athleticism for the indoor and competition climbing.
Yeah, absolutely. And you even look at the architecture the last few seconds of this round. You look at the architecture of how the walls are made these days, and you look at those old gyms from the 90s, and they're almost trying to replicate
the rock. Yeah.
And whereas now, indoor climbing is unashamedly indoor climbing, and it's got the confidence in itself to just be artificial. And the more that it's laying into that, the more we're able to make such crazy dynamic movements, and it's very cool, and it lends itself to making these big holds.
Yeah, I think we see I think it all ran parallel with the Ninja Warrior explosion as well, and obviously we've seen a few crossover athletes as well. But yeah, when we saw that Ninja Warrior and parkour stuff take off, I definitely think a lot of people turned to climbing, and maybe the gym started to try and cater for that market, and it's become this new thing. Oh wow,
very good
catch
there.
that with the toe, yeah, really nice.
That was very nice. In control. She hasn't wasted any energy in this boulder
Straight
round.
back to the changing
Looking
room,
fresh.
Yeah, that was a really great performance there. And again, this comes down to the experience. If you, again, for you guys at home, that a lot of the athletes have made a few appearances on the IFSC tours, and some youth boulder showings for a lot of the athletes. But like with Osh, definitely the most experienced of the climbers here this weekend, and you just see how that can really aid and assist.
Well, and so much experience at such a young age as well.
Of course,
Osh, she's been around for so long, but she's, I think, 20, something like that. She's really quite young. And to have had 4 or 5 years experience on the World Cup circuit, and having been to the Olympics, and obviously multiple Australian local competitions. She's just able to hold it together and just execute perfectly.
Power along. Well, the age of people starting competitions, you and I have, seen a massive uptick in the youth scene. It's gone from 100 competitors to 200 to 300. And I think the wave is only just getting started, really, and hopefully in Australia it'll continue.
Yeah, and I think with these kind of gyms coming along, they're nice, big, bright, open spaces.
Yes.
There's pretty colours on the wall, and it really does make it a family day.
Yep.
And that's how we make it happen. You get the whole family involved. The kids are there and having fun. That's how I started climbing with Dad back in Brisbane, and yeah, it was just fantastic.
I think that's a thing here as well, is like you say, is these gyms that they are now, like you say, unashamedly unique in the style of climbing it is, but they can set, because they're not trying to mirror the outside style, and also it's much safer than the old days, these big soft mats everywhere, bigger fall zones, the age restrictions and limits have dropped down, and the barrier to entry has been not completely removed, but has been reduced so much now that we see in gyms where, me and Jason climb as well, you'll see people, 4 or 5 year old kids in climbing gyms with shoes on learning to climb.
Maybe a top here on M3.
Come on.
Oh, he went with his right on that one.
And fumbled a little bit from the blocker hold there.
Yeah, just overshot it a little. I mean, you can't really see it from underneath there until you're sort of up on it almost, or maybe even feeling your way like Braille.
Yeah.
But
we see George Sanders there.
Yeah,
I see. He's
He's
gone about 4 inches too high there.
overshot it just a little.
And this
No
is Mackenzie
chance
here.
in.
We'll see if we can.
Right hand over, that's looking good. Doesn't need to do that match that we've seen a few of the other athletes doing. Cheeky little toe hook, and now got to jump out of this position.
Quite
Seen
powerful.
a lot of them struggle there. A lot. It's quite a deceivingly large reach.
Yeah, and it's just one of those movements where there might not be anywhere to hide other than just throw down some finger power and shoulder power and strength.
And try and hit that with some control. It doesn't look.
It's
it
a
looks
fantastic
big
way
enough,
to
but it doesn't
describe
look
it,
great.
isn't it? Nowhere to hide. I love that. It's fantastic. It's so true.
Yeah, sometimes there's a few options where you can kind of sneak your way through. We're back on M3.
Now let's see if he goes up at the right again, or maybe the left. Oh,
Looked a lot more in control there, but
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to have time. 30 seconds
for
to
another one of
go.
those. Yeah, there's a fair bit of work to get to that point. If he's going to go, he needs to go now.
And what he doesn't realise is the fourth boulder is that very powerful one we just saw as well. So.
Yeah, so this is that kind of energy regulation that we're thinking about.
Oh yeah, that hip flexibility. Just sitting here, I'm cringing watching it happen.
I do love that because of the extra, the low zone, mid zone now, it does encourage that extra attempt sometimes. Instead of if you've got the zone, it's like, oh, I've got the zone, I'm not going to get the top.
Yep.
But knowing there's that second scoring zone now as well, it does really change the whole perspective. It's really exciting.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think it's really changed the perspective or the approach that athletes have got to take on the mat.
Yes.
I think it's a really positive change
Yeah,
that we've had.
Well, I was chatting to one of the route setters yesterday, and they're saying on average the boulder problems now with the new scoring are probably 1 to 2 moves longer, and tend to sort of go a little bit a bit further on the wall. So mate, that would all add up in a semis and whatever it is over a couple of days of climbing, and especially in the power zone when it comes to boulder, a few more moves times 4.
Well, that's what I was going to say. There's still the power boulders that used to be sometimes 2 big hits and done.
Yeah.
Now it's 3 big hits. So yeah, you're completely right. Sorry, Tom, you were saying?
Yeah, and it's also, we're talking about, the more move. It's the skin as well.
Yes, yes.
Get back to that. Like, some of these holds, they feel like 40 grit sandpaper, and you're sweaty and hot, and all of your body weight is going through it, and you're just sliding and sliding and sliding. And we saw talking about that pump as well. Sam coming through here. Campbell Harrison, before coming off the top of M4, he looks pumped.
Yes.
It all adds up. There's extra few moves.
So
come on, Sam.
We've seen Sam here, and also a top screen. You're seeing, come on, Sam. Great.
Wow.
Deadly accurate.
Oh, was that under control? Did he get the nod?
I'd give him it.
He's waiting.
And we see on top screen as well, we've got Maya Stasiuk here as well, who won the Nationals. Really, really dominant performance in Sydney earlier in the year.
Speaking of athletes that are younger, coming through and really just performing.
Now he wasn't.
Sam hasn't been given that. He's down there brushing the holds, but he'll take a lot of confidence. So there wasn't quite a moment where he was just still. And you don't necessarily need to be still, but you could see that there was still a lot of kind of uncontrolled body movement there. And then
it was a half a
unfortunate
second
foot
away.
pop. It really was.
Very unfortunate touch and
we
go.
see Josh Manel here, who's quite openly a sport climb advocate here as well. You know, he makes nothing that it's his favourite discipline, and that's something to still keep in mind. Although we've now split away from the speed, which again I think is a huge step forward for climbing. It's making all these leaps. It's you still have to be a master of two quite different disciplines. You know, bouldering and lead is still. You know, it's quite a varied skill set still.
Wow,
yeah,
okay.
absolutely. Josh, I would say, is probably his main love. If you gave him a free day to just go climbing, he'd be outdoors. And I think there's...
Oh, yeah.
We got the top from Sam.
Sam got the top that time. Yep.
I think, Josh, the outdoor climbing, you've got to adapt a lot, and things aren't necessarily obvious, and I think there's a lot of that ends up transitioning across quite well onto the indoor climbs. You've got to think on your feet and come up with something maybe slightly out of the box and find a method that perhaps some of the athletes that are predominantly indoor climbers might not spot. That's definitely something that I relied on a lot. Was just trusting my own intuition from coming from that outdoor scene and transitioning into...
I think I've been on many outdoor walks where I've prayed to find a hold, and I'm like, there's got to be something. I've seen someone get up here before, but yeah.
Well, that was quite nice. Maya stood really
nice,
tall up into that, and just a delicate touch with her foot really made that work. Well, let's see if she can...
get it a bit further out. There you go.
Yeah, she's moved that foot further out, and it's made the climb kind of less steep, the wall less...
So she was thinking of going up with her left there, maybe getting a toe hook. I wonder if she'll try that beta again. We haven't seen any...
Here we go. Little jump.
Oh, it's twice he's got to that point as well. He's very fast to it.
Well, Osh just showed us her power on, I think that's women's 2.
Oscar Wolf is a bit of... it's fast through the moves.
Well, she did touch it too, actually. Just tipped to the top, so maybe we shall see.
I loved her style points on the fall there.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on.
You definitely mentioned something as well, which we don't discuss much, is that as an athlete who competes a lot, you become an expert in falling, and again, I think people who the outdoor boulderers as well of having to hit certain pads and things, you see that benefit in that skill set as well. But yeah, being experts in falling is another thing that's so important.
Well, we did see a pretty heavy fall in the nationals.
By Campbell.
And he got up and after that and topped it. It was that that was crazy. It was amazing.
That was just another show of his absolute determination. Yeah,
totally. All right, folks, we're about halfway through, and still plenty of action to come. Some of the competitors will have finished their last boulder problem, and some are now onto their second. So we've got the rotation.
There's Osh leaving the isolation area with her gear. She's got her little recovery armbands on, and it'll be time for her to just go chill out, take some time, and get sort of mentally prepared for the lead round.
We've got a couple there. We've Judith Carroll. We do have a couple of hours between boulder and lead, so hopefully that's enough time to decompress and then re-warm up. And how long does it take, Tom? What sort of time frame to warm up and be ready? I mean, I think would lead be the most difficult? It's the, I don't know. How long do you spend behind the curtain and waiting for your turn?
Yeah, it's a bit of a athlete by athlete, just getting a little bit distracted here, watching the delicate footwork of Judith.
She's very good at this style as well.
Yeah, and she's going to try and stomp that foot out, perhaps.
Yeah, in the comments I've seen her, she's really, really just controlled and precise. And
yeah, so getting ready for the lead event, having already done a full boulder round and you've done your warm-up and all that, basically I'm going to try and just blow off the cobwebs a little bit. After a couple of hours, you're still going to feel nice and warm and ready to go. So I'll just do a few minutes of just kind of climbing around and just going, oh yeah, sweet, and I'm back. And then would probably do 2 or 3 sort of pumpier circuits at about 30 or 40 moves perhaps, or maybe aim for 2 or 3 minutes on the wall. And just get that adrenaline,
anaerobic going.
Yeah, just get the forearms fired up, and so you're not getting that sort of dreaded flash pump feeling.
Yes.
Cheeky little shin hook. Nicely done.
Yep. And a little bit of a knee scum underneath it, I think,
Bit
on
of
that
a jump. That's looking pretty close.
But like you said, they've still got to make the leap. Regardless what position's in there, they've still, that leap's unavoidable. No, I used to go out over chap and he used to always say to me, he's like, you've got to, you know, he said, you've got to get the pump on first, then rest it down and go again. And, you know, so I was like, no, once my arms are shot, I'm done for the day. And but yeah, over time and with your training, I do agree. I do think it's good to get that. So it's nice to hear that he wasn't lying to me.
Well, we do, like we said, folks, I think we've got 3 all-up athletes from Guam, which is awesome to see.
Judith Neely.
Staying low doesn't, it seemed to, if she was higher, there was a bit better purchase on that, only marginal though, on that white volume.
Bit of Elvising on that foot.
Elvis in the house.
We've still not seen a solid top on this first boulder yet, have we, the male first?
No, Sam got as close as we've seen. But this is looking pretty tasty.
Finley's looking good. Come on. He's doing it the Campbell way of avoiding that hole outside.
Yeah, he's going to have to get that left foot closer into his... Here we go. He's going to transition it across, perhaps.
Oh, he's trying to stem on the way up. Oh, here we go.
There you go. It's just not positive enough, that finish hold, to do anything like that. There
you see he's fully dropping the heels and getting as much of that toe surface area. Oh. That looks good.
Well, he made progress quite nicely there. Arguably,
Nice
there'd be
height
some
there
time.
on the jump.
Yep, enough time. Fingernail by fingernail up the wall.
I think when you get to it, you realise there is nothing there. It's not your eyesight playing tricks.
It's really tricky with those sorts of moves as well, because you're not sure whether you're meant to find the point of balance before you bring up your second hand, or the point of balance only exists once you fully commit to jumping up to get the second hand in.
Interesting, yeah.
So especially on something that's that delicate, it's a real head scratcher and a little bit tricky, and you've got the clock ticking away in the background.
Yeah, and you've got to make that decision 2.5 meters up in the air with the rest of the climb done. So, you know, if you make the wrong call, you've got to get back here again to make it again. So, yeah, it's interesting, yeah.
Well, 13 or 12 seconds to go.
I think he's
might
just
have
trying
to
to get the next zone.
On. Here we go.
He'll have to motor. He'll have to motor.
Go,
Come on.
Yeah, you can't chat.
Just a little bit low in the arms. Needed the body and the shoulders just probably a foot or so sort of higher up, so you could get that 25 big green with a little bit of a bend in the arm.
A little bit more cushion to control the swing.
Yeah, and then so we've got quite an explosive climber in Dylan Parks coming out now, and then Meredith as well.
Dylan Parks is definitely going from strength to strength.
Yeah.
As he's kind of transitioned from being just one of the little kids in the gym, and he's gotten that sort of man shoulders, for want of a better term. There's definitely
growing into them.
I think for the male category, there's definitely something to be said for just having the physical size and strength. And you see a lot of the athletes. I was definitely one of them, where I was just a tiny little boy, and wasn't until I was about 18 that I started to actually become proper sized, so to speak. And climbing started to feel a lot easier at that point.
Yeah, he
at least in the competition side.
He's definitely light-hearted as well, which is good. I see a lot of these, the camaraderie between a lot of these athletes is fantastic, and a couple of the jokers that you have in the group, and he's definitely one when we catch up with him and we try and chat to the athletes, you know, and all of them to and say he's always cracking jokes, have a big smile on his face, and I think that, you know, that sort of temperament's a good asset to have as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, if you can find some lightness in the kind of stressy, heavy weekend.
Well, he's doing something. Well, Tom, instead of finding the heel toe, he did an undercling.
I thought she was going to stick the tongue.
to get it up there. That was, again, didn't expect that one. But making progress. Yeah.
Yeah, if Dylan can have a good bouldering round here, that's really going to give him some confidence leading into the lead. He's definitely a front runner for making it into finals, I would say. He's had a really good couple of years.
Yeah, it was 7 in the youth in America, wasn't he? But yeah, and he's again another one who's so young. When we run down this, it's really an exciting time for climbing. But for Australian climbing, we've got so many great young climbers here. In New Zealand's really a lot of their athletes have been doing incredible as well here.
Amanda here on this green, she did the match quite nicely there before.
Yeah, that little bit of extra height as well. So hopefully it doesn't seem. She's going to put that left foot back on, or just one leg it? There we go.
Sneak up there. It's all very delicate stuff. Not looking super comfortable.
Yeah.
I wonder if she'll go for that match again, or we have seen some of the athletes go from that sort of undercling duckbill and just doing a big crossover.
A bit more power or awkward to get into it, but better once you're in it.
Yeah, it flows quite nicely, and there's something to be said for hanging out on a quite small in-cut edge. It drains your power quite a lot. Here we go. Sam, I think, has potentially wrong-handed himself. Yeah.
I think
style points from Josh here.
Yeah, this is
for the fall. If that was a category, we'd see a little bit of contention. Him and Mayer have had some good ones.
He might be a snowboarder because he's trying to get the 360 in.
Yeah.
But no, I think the way you're calling it is definitely probably what the route setters would have wanted as well. That jump, but she's back on it again now.
There he is with his undercling.
He's maybe found a little mono on a bolt hole on that volumes foot slip. Amanda going for the match again, the piano match, where you just kind of... Ooh, Mayer looking good there. Women's.
Well, she made it across then by the...
Move. We're going to... Oh, she's just off. Just in the background there, she was looking good on the green.
Sam Lavender just slipping again there.
Minute to go.
One big attempt, Josh, come on.
Mayer, I think, will be leaving it till about 30 seconds. I say that as she contradicts me. She'll have confidence there. She came off on that last move. Both these athletes likely to be a first go. Josh looking for something different. I was wondering this from the mats.
Oh, she's in a great spot here,
Mayer. Come on, Mayer. You got time, mate.
Oh,
not quite the body position there.
And that's very committing, like a fall from up high as well. So that and that would be, you know, often playing on competitor psychology as well.
Yeah, and even like something that we don't really think about too much is taking a fall like that. It's very taxing on your legs.
Yeah.
And you do that over and over and over and over through a weekend.
Yes.
It's tiring. Oh, I reckon that could have maybe worked for Josh there, just the foot slip.
Well, that's that one done. They are just missing it, and again, yeah, you're right. They're trying to control that on the legs on the way down.
We're getting the 14th athletes out now, so both from New Zealand, Angus Kirk and Azaria Briscoe.
I do remember had a bouldering session in Bowral once, and the only way down from the cliff was to jump off every single time. And the next day I could hardly walk.
Yep. Yeah, it's amazing. I had the exact experience coming back from not being in a bouldering gym for a very long time after the Olympics, and having a great session, and then the next day, barely walking. You're like, no, that's right.
Yeah.
It's a bit different to falling off the wall under my house, which is, definitely not that high. These walls are 4.5 meters high, basically. So if you're jumping off the top there, your legs are plummeting the best part of 2.5 meters. to the ground. And
I'm a big advocate for down climbs in commercial gyms.
Yeah.
I tell you that. I always say, hey, look, if you can down climb, you'll benefit your body and like you say, your sessions as well. You don't wake up the next day exactly like that. But yeah, in these comps, obviously, no room for down climbs. This is the highest level athlete. But yeah, it's so true.
Oh, there we go. And she was going to do the big throw to the undercatch.
And the left hand almost looked like it was kind of a little bit lost, but looked like it was going to head up to that crimp, number 10.
We know
there's definitely something to be said for to committing to your movements. If you sit there halfway in between, do I go left hand up? Am I going to do this? Where am I going to put my foot? You're just wasting juice and potentially wasting attempts, because if you're going at it half-hearted, it's really just can be a bit of a waste.
That small amount of hesitation can just millimeters sometimes, you know, hitting the hold in the right way. So, yeah.
But if you can gain a little bit of information, maybe go, okay, great. I know that body position works, that movement works. I'm going full commitment to the next time.
Come on, Azaria.
Lord.
She was looking very smooth up to that point.
Looking nice, yeah.
So here's the Guam athlete Victoria again on the screen here. She's got the crimp.
Nice. Pulls that in. I love watching a climber have that experience of just like nearly reaching it and then just dropping the clutch and
the mini victory there.
It's amazing.
Got it done.
Ooh.
Well, not a huge amount of tops on this one, but often the semis are often designed that way to be a little bit harder to split the field.
Split the field, yeah, exactly right.
Yep. And by and large, so far, seems to have done its job. So far, folks. A bit later on, we'll see if we can get the scores up, but we shall see.
And I mean, yeah, in respect to the route set, and again, I think that's another tip of the cap. What is so unique about climbing is, you know, you can watch so many sports and it's always the same, you know, soccer's 90 minutes, within reason the same similar size field, same goal size. You know, athletics, 100 metres, you know how long it's going to be. And every time it comes to a comp, these route setters just have to go from memory or from, you know, from that imaginary locker they keep in their head and just create magic. And they've done it again, you know. We're seeing such a variation of style tests here and, you know, great split. You know, Osh did incredible, probably the best. She got 3 tops, so still didn't top everything.
Yeah.
They weren't all flashes, and you know, Campbell did this next best. Oh, Judith just trying to get to that 10 hole.
Nice roll out here.
So I think we've only seen Maya and Osh get past the 10.
Looks like he's going to go with his left.
Oh, yes, yeah. Oh, wow.
He's just gone a little bit too far to the right there, it looked like. But that looked very... aside from being a little bit out on the horizontal axis, that was looking very accurate.
Looked efficient and
didn't overshoot it. Had nice speed. Some of the things you've got to think about when you're going for those blocked holds is kind of grabbing it at the dead point, which is basically the idea of like jumping up in the air, and there's that moment where you're kind of just hovering, and it gives you the most amount of time not moving to try and zero in and grab it.
If before you're trying to grab down with your body weight.
Grab something accurate while you're still moving upwards or down. It's infinitely harder. Here we go.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, that was so close.
That's devastating.
So close. No, that is another thing as well, is that, you know, like you say, is as you move into something, you move past it, there's just, you know, the whole everything's going past it. But even when, like you say, he's on the way back down, that whole body weight has to hit it.
Going for the toe hook too.
Such a skill. Oh, that was great.
Yeah. And Judith as well.
That's what I saw
dual pulls. Yeah, it's like the Goldilocks zone. It's sort of not too far, but not too
absolutely
not too close.
I think Maya might do really well on this green one here. Again, although she, like I say, we comment she's 16, but she's a bit of a taller climber as well. And let's see how she goes here.
And she's quite strong. I mean, we saw her at the Nationals and. You know, really dropped the clutch a few times and
we managed to
put the power down.
We managed to catch up with her as well. And again, another climber who really loves the sport climbing, and we see with so many of these athletes. I'm really excited to see the sport climbing after.
Maya going for the right-hand crossover. Little tag-in match is the foot reset.
Nice. Just a little uncomplicated, really, at the end of the day, wasn't it? Just like, don't try and do too much. Just pop up and grab it. But
that was looking good. Maybe a little low on that hold, perhaps. Or on that final hold.
You can't really see it from here. It looks like a big hold, but it's angling downwards, and it's not really that positive until you get all the way over to the left of it.
Yeah, absolutely. The body position on those sorts of holds.
Let's see how he'd get out of this. Oh no!
He's gone for the lie down. Come on, Mr. Men. Oh wow, just took his hand away.
That little. But isn't that called the Houdini? Is the Houdini hand swap?
It's something like that, yeah.
He was having a crack.
It's about the most high pressure type of match. Basically, the idea being you jump one hand off and grab it with the other. There you go, and try and grab it at that dead point.
Yeah, almost did the magic trick, but wasn't to be.
The magic trick while lying down.
yeah, he wanted to put a show on.
Casual.
And the two out now, by the way, Emily Scott and Max Thomas are both attempting the first, and Max is trying in a unique way here, we see. Emily, I can't see on the wall, so I'm not sure if if she topped it instantly and we missed it, or if she's not come out, Emily Scott. But Max Thomas is on Melbourne. There she is.
Oh, there we go.
Just getting ready for the long run up. Yep.
Dylan.
Oh.
Yeah, he kind of looked a little low in the body there. Got really nice full grip of that green.
We've seen a few people try to kick out to those holds, but they might be a bit further away than we think.
Maya again.
Oh, again, like you said, Tom, a bit low on it maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, we definitely saw Osh when she hit it. She had a bit more kind of high in the shoulders, nice and strong.
And when she finished, she was really high, like all the way up the top of it.
Yeah, stood up
on the right.
This is the same thing again, is that we've seen her twice now get to the final hold and not make it, and then multiple attempts after.
She's really going to need to assess her tactics, give it a nice big rest, I would suggest, and then give it an all-out sort of one final hurrah.
We can see her in the background there sucking in some big breaths. So yeah, really, I think you're 100% nail on the head there. She needs to take that time. And again, sometimes, your adrenaline, she is so young, 16 years old, used to dominating, and it's just, take a second, reassess, breathe, give it 100% attempt.
Yeah, it's really hard to keep your composure while you're out there on the mats. I used to have a sheet of paper with me that just had all of these little reminders that I'd keep it in isolation with me and just read through it, and it'd be reminders of sort of some route reading cues for me, some little okay, if this is happening, then let's do this, and it would just, rereading it would refresh my brain just those few moments before going out, and would allow me to have it kind of a little bit more front of mind, because far out, you go out there and it is a blur. 5 minutes has never felt so fast, and you've just got all of the other noise going on, and you've really got to just find your own zone. Dylan looked really good there.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
And I do see in some of the...
see if he can get...
yeah.
See if he can get some height here.
Up and in. Oh, wow.
Again, I think it just a little bit low. Maya, she
was going for the match too.
Yeah, that same as Osh, just falling off with the match. Amanda in that undercling.
Yeah, big backhand bend. Well, there you are, folks. Well, a little bit of insight from Tom there. And, if you're a competitor and you're watching this, a nice little trick to maybe try and add to your steps. That's really interesting.
Seeing a slightly different little foot sequence here.
See if that I
think it's going to put
this
in a
is that
tricky
little
spot.
transition I was talking about with the wall angle.
Her hips coming out. Yeah.
Tricky, but it is good to try something different sometimes. If you're kind of striking out a bit, you've got to just roll the dice and let's think outside the box. And maybe that's not the actual result. Maybe that's not the final solution, but it might just rejig your brain and give you an opportunity to feel something different.
Yeah.
Oh, that's super interesting.
Well, the floor is full, folks. We've got 8 competitors all at the same time out on the wall, and everything to play for in the finals. Now we've got eight spots in the finals for Boulder Lead combined, and that will be on tomorrow. The finals in the afternoon, but today 20 in the female and 19 in the male. Unfortunately, we've had one injury and one of the males not be able to compete. Yep.
Cirrus Tan stepping out on the mat there. She's New Zealand athlete, a recent mum actually. She's got a little baby, 6 months old. So
awesome.
Amazing to be out here.
Yeah, feat in itself, isn't it? Yeah,
absolutely. I know my partner Amanda, just coming back from having had a baby and getting back to climbing, like it's a really difficult thing. There's all sorts of stuff that a baby does to your body, and to come back and be on this stage is an incredible feat.
Oh, Judith.
Oh, great swap. Oh.
And Cirrus actually was, I think, the only New Zealand athlete that was competing at the last Oceania Championships.
There you go.
Just due to the COVID restrictions and that sort of thing. There was quarantine leading up to Christmas and all that kind of thing.
Yep.
Because the comp was held just a week out from Christmas. So there's a lot of athletes that just didn't want to deal with being stuck in a hotel room over Christmas. But Cirrus came over. It was awesome to see her. She climbed really well. So it's amazing to see her back here again.
And she was part of the New Zealand coaching team as well. They mentioned as well at stage. So like, yeah, just what an incredible community member as well. That's the thing. You commit to the sport.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, 6 months after having a baby, being here at this high level, at this competition.
I think something too, like just even to just switch off mum mode and to just think about yourself and your warm up and doing all of that out here on the mats, like, yeah, really awesome. So I'd back her to have a good round here.
Yeah, no, it's a bit of insight for you there as well at home. Nice to know these things. And that's the thing is, like you mentioned before about how you have to time in your training for different competitions and, how these athletes build up for them. And there's obviously life aspects. We all have taken a lot of these. Most of the climbers have other jobs as well. Most of these people, some of them are at school. There's a lot of things around this that go in as well. It isn't just 9 to 5 climbing for a lot of these athletes.
Fit it all in, that is for sure. Yep. But
we're seeing a lot of different methods on this green, aren't we? A lot of people have tried this a different way, male too.
Yeah, I'm really loving it.
Yeah, I think
and each way has kind of looked pretty good. Obviously, the kind of run across and snag the little toe hook, that works quite nicely. But it's nice that there's perhaps a couple of other options.
Indeed.
When I was coming from being predominantly an outdoor climber into the competition stuff, and there was all those sorts of moves, I was looking for the most static way to do anything. I did not have any confidence in my ability to move dynamically through the air, and it almost became a bit of a joke because I've got fairly flexible hips and flexible shoulders and stuff. Some of the most contorted positions that I got into, and the route setters would just be disgusted with me.
I was just going to say, I think you'd be what we call in the gym a route setter's nightmare.
Yeah.
Because that's all you ever see is there's a dyno set and they'll go, someone like you will come in and they go, uh-oh, because here comes someone to break it statically. But
it would always be the most inefficient. Judith looking
come on,
awesome.
Judith.
Now she's been here before, and if she can...
Oh, come on, mate. There's the foot. A really hard flag. Yeah, it would... often the static method of a dynamic move was very inefficient. You'd spend a lot longer on the wall. All the weird muscles would start getting fatigued. So I quite quickly kind of had to learn how to move dynamically, and it's difficult. I found that the dynamic movement quite tricky to commit to because there wasn't control, I felt. And if I stuffed it up a little bit, I'd be off.
Yeah.
Whereas in a static method, you can always kind of retreat generally.
More taxing on your body, but you're more in control of it, which is.
And do you think were you predominantly an outdoor climber to begin with? I mean, I found that transition from outdoor to more dynamic stuff a little bit more psychologically a barrier, because you're not doing that outside if you don't need to.
Yeah, exactly. It's a whole new sort of repertoire of movements that you've got to pick up and commit to, and that felt so foreign.
Well, you managed it quite well. Well done.
Go all in.
Yeah. And you know, do you train that at home? How do you train changing some of that style for you? And maybe, you know, some people listening at home, like if it's one of your weaknesses, how do you attack it?
It's basically just jump in head first. It's it's difficult. For me especially, like I live up in the Blue Mountains and I'm an hour and a half from a climbing gym that serves up that sort of movement. So it'd be a 3-hour round trip just to try and learn.
Yeah.
But it meant that you'd try and get the most out of each session. I think it's really awesome to watch these sorts of athletes do it. Pick up on some of the tips and tricks. There's amazing YouTube videos and Instagram pages out there to learn those sorts of tactics and really pick the brain of some better athletes at your gym. Like, hey, what are you doing?
Yep.
What's your thought process on this? And just trying to replicate it. I used to watch the old climbing videos of Chris Sharma and Dave Graham and Ben Moon, Jerry Moffat, all those sorts of characters, and you try and replicate some of the moves that they were doing out on the cliffs. So maybe trying to replicate some of the moves that you see these athletes doing in the gym.
I did see an interview with Ben Moon recently. You know, he was climbing. He's, you know, we're not as strong as in my young days. And I thought, you know, Ben Moon, he's famous name. He's only 34. I was like, well, yeah, I know. I couldn't believe it. I was like, I thought I'd gone crazy. I Googled it. Yeah, because another one like, I mean, obviously the moon board's phenomenal as well, but yeah, what Ben Moon and those climbs, their videos are so interesting. I mean, I still watch all the Magnus videos. He was in at the Nationals. He came and watched a lot of the national competition, which was good to see when he was in Sydney.
Yeah, just recently he was here.
Yeah, it was, which was really cool to see him come and sit and watch the kids climbing away and show support. But
Maya getting up into that undercling.
Did it with the Gaston as well.
Come on, mate.
She's looking. Come on, we need you to hold this top. Yes, Maya. That's a big thing for a mental as well.
And I think that was the first top of that one. I haven't seen. Yeah. So there you go. Well, that puts her in a great spot for the lead.
Josh looking a little bit swingy outy on that M4.
Technical term.
Yeah. See, these are the skills and vocab that you'll pick up on.
Yeah, exactly.
I was going to say, I think for Maya, she hit the top hold of all of the 3 of the other climbs without securing any of them. So to get that 4th one in a belt might just be way more valuable than just the actual top itself.
Yeah.
Come on. So now we're seeing, I believe it's Kiri and Alex Chachowski, and Svetsky is the other one.
So this point system as well for this bouldering round, we see Dylan lining up for this last hold.
Come on, Dylan.
Looks like he's going to go with his left. Oh,
nice and slow. It is steep here.
Steep terrain, yeah. Oh!
Very nice.
Oh, yeah.
He's nailed it in there. Right hand up. Yeah, so the point system basically is 100 points on offer in this bouldering round. No one has achieved that. Basically, if you topped every single boulder on your first go, you got 100 points. But whatever points you end up with at the end of this round might be 63.2. That then goes into your lead climbing, and the lead, there was 100 points up for offer as well. So if you got 63.2 points in your bouldering round and then topped the lead route, you've got 163.2, and whoever's got the most points at the end of the boulder and lead ends up winning that round. And that's how we end up with our top 8. So we see something here like Alex on this this boulder, 10 points and then 25 points, an extra 15 points. So one extra move is worth 15 points, and you're definitely not going to find 15 points for one move on the lead route. So this is really valuable. If he can get himself here, that might be the equivalent of 4 or 5, even more moves on the lead route.
And when you put it that way, it makes sense, you know, like strategically. Yeah.
If it sounds a bit confusing, I apologise. It is difficult to explain, but you will, as the weekend goes on and we watch it all come together, you will understand. Hopefully a little bit more.
Yeah, we can see this afternoon when we see the lead routes, they are, colour-coded in sections, a certain amount of points, 1, 2 and 4, I believe, as they progress up the wall. But right now, Max Thomas.
Yeah.
Last chance.
Come on, Max. Oh.
And, it's just, they will just be coming on one lead route for the males, one lead route for the females as well. That's why that one's worth 100 and these 4 worth 100 combined. But yeah, that's a really interesting way of looking at it as well. Is, you know, like you say, is how valuable that extra move can be in the grand scheme of things. Yeah,
Yep.
in that overall.
Well, it's progressing quite nicely here, folks, and I think we've got.
Well, the last 3 men, the last 4 females about to come out now.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, so AJ from New Zealand, although lives in Queensland, and Clear here as well.
Clear, a bit of a seasoned competitor in the Australian circuit as well, so she's got a bit of
another
bit
one,
of
like you say,
experience.
17 years old and been at every comp we've commentated on pretty much the last 4 years, and that's what, you know, just the work. Like you talked about, you know, your Tom, a lot of your climbing is predominantly. You know, especially living in the Blue Mountains, tons of outdoor and tons of things, and you know, a lot of people have that approach, and some people have that pull-up approach of just competition. You know, neither say one's better than the other. It's just interesting how you can have completely, you know, opposite approaches to the same sport, really.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the beautiful nature of all of this, is that there's just so many different ways that you can go about it. Oh, looking good there.
Yeah, it's nice
Judith.
to get down your first. Come on, Judith.
trying the Gaston and trying to get up in there with the right hand.
Finding coordination.
Yeah,
that's definitely the difference of outdoor climbing to indoor climbing. It's nice to just be out there in nature, listening to the wind just whip through the trees and the birds and general clanking of quick draws or tread gear or whatever it is. And then you come into the gym and it's a really different thing, but we're all still connected to that love of climbing. And for me, as I moved into the competition stuff in about 2017, 18, I was feeling ready for a little bit of a change in my climbing. I was looking for a new challenge, and it was really awesome to be able to just transition across into something entirely different. And I really did enjoy that experience. I felt like a complete Gumby, like a new climber again that just felt totally uncoordinated. And then to learn it all again was awesome.
Such a great challenge to put upon yourself as well, you know.
Very good there.
Yeah, she looked like she was going to get,
a little bit low. Yeah. I liked the sneaky little, the left foot just tucked up in behind there and gave her the ability to sneak up a little bit more on that left-hand hold rather than doing a full-out jump that we've seen some of the other athletes do.
A little bit higher just to,
you can just kind of get there and not maybe waste as much horsepower. So if you think about catching that hold in the left hand, if you're coming at it quite low, you're loading up a lot of power into that and sort of draining your energy. But if you can just sneak up there and just grab it softly, it's a little bit less taxing. And across the whole weekend, if you have a few of those cheeky little tactics in there that you employ, at the end of the weekend you're a little bit less tired and you can give it a little bit more juice on that lead route at the end.
Yeah, Clear, not quite
Jumping
sure
low.
which way she wants to do this one, but
she's got it again. Come on.
no, that's the replay, that one. Yep.
Judith on the
Judith, the top.
Oh, Judith, good finish,
Fantastic.
Judith. Really
Well
great
done.
finish. She didn't manage to hold the previous top, did she? I saw the 2 attempts.
Yeah, not quite.
Yeah, but she touched it as well. So again, that's still a solid qualifying performance from her. Should put her in the top 2 or 3. They will go into the lead, for all you watching, they will go into the lead event in the same order, randomised order that they're in for this competition at Boulder. And then tomorrow's will be in the way they finished today. Come on, Clear. This was just a step down before.
There it is.
Clock's running down on this round. There's a few more athletes out there looking to add a few more points to their score.
Minute to go. Plenty of time to top each one of the boulders.
Cheeky cross under and the roll out. Really got to get over that foot there and feel the flexibility through the hips.
And maybe just...
Cirrus in the background is going to explode out of this.
Well, we've seen...
Come on, mate.
Most of the competitors who've nailed that move have stopped on the second one, not completely gone through that I've seen. So it might be a little bit misleading to think it's a triple paddle.
Well, it definitely doesn't look positive, the middle hole. When we were stood underneath it earlier looking, I was like yesterday, I was yeah, it didn't look positive, but yeah, then when Osh stopped on it, it was, it shows you just again the different level you guys work at to us.
Positive for some, not so positive for others.
Yeah, my mindset was positive that I could never hold it. That was it. Yeah.
All right,
Come on, AJ.
5 seconds to go. Not to beat AJ. I've got Roxy Perry out next, and
Maxime,
yeah.
And, Max is a bit of a tall athlete. I wonder, we've not seen anyone top this first. I really want to see someone get this M1. Still got two males to give it a go yet. As mentioned earlier, if you're just tuning in, we're here at Urban Blackburn in Melbourne for this incredible competition. And this is the semi-final for the boulders. The top 20 females and the top 19 males due to one injury withdrawal. We're just working through now. So this is number 18, I should say. Roxy Perry and Maxine Power coming out on the first two. We've seen Dylan finish up his round,
and Roxy's been quite a strong competitor in this year as well. So she was in pretty good form last time she competed. So hopefully that's done well for her.
Another athlete with a lot of experience. She's been around forever.
Yeah. In a good way.
In a good way, yeah.
This is very Alex's style, but I expect him to seem to do well on this one. Okay, come on, Max. Yeah, taller athlete, so he's got to have that hip flexibility that you were mentioning. Yeah, being a bit taller.
Swinging it up into position there.
Yes.
Hasn't quite got the foothold, but if you've got confidence there on that left foot, that should be okay.
Just the rubber.
And like you said, Tom, they need to be over a little bit to the right anyway with their foot. Maybe Max can reach. He's quite tall, so there you go.
Drop those feet, and he's going to do that cheeky little foot match there.
Now I wonder if he's a bit taller. If he stands up a bit straighter on this, he might get in a better position.
Yeah,
but it doesn't look great no matter which way you.
It's Sam Lavender, but it's just how he can. Yeah, it's like
confident in those feet though. The hips, you see them transitioning further and further into
over
the line.
to the right. Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful, Max. Yeah.
That was
and that's what you were mentioning, Tom. We wanted to see Sam do, just rock over that bit more.
Yeah.
And he did it. He must have heard you. Perfect.
He's done WA proud there. Representative of the Gunba Shed.
Yeah.
Those that are psyched on board climbing, go check out Gunba Shed on Instagram, GANBA. It's absolute board climbing froth.
We often hear the hype from the warm-up rooms when I try and get some interviews with people. They all shout it out.
Well,
come on, okay.
Plenty of action in this round.
Here's Roxy.
Come on, Roxy.
A lot of almost tops.
This is
not finding a way on the start. And it's a.
Come on, Alex. Let's go.
Tricky, powerful position there in the beginning as well. I was talking about finding control of that last hold. We've got to see control. Oh, nice. See control from the athletes at the beginning as well. So again,
Before
that's not
start.
necessarily a time limit or anything. You just got to show that you're in a solid position, and then you're allowed to leave. If you don't find that solid position and leave the hold, or don't get a limb on the designated tape area, the judges will call you back and say that's an invalid attempt. You'll be marked down for an attempt, but then have to start again.
How do you find 20 athletes in or 18 athletes in, the hold condition? Does it matter that much with not so many climbers, or is it all psychology, or it is a bit of both? You need to brush it, but just go for it.
I'm a big advocate for brushing, and we've got a few volunteer brushers out helping the athletes.
Big shout out.
Yeah, and I'm also someone that likes to brush it myself, just to know it, and it's just out of my mind. It's not because I don't doubt the brushes, even they could be doing a better job than me, but I like to do that, and it's also a little kind of reset sort of thing for me.
Yes.
No, Tom, you'd be my favourite climber.
In the background here, foreground.
Something I preach about consistently is I love to see climbers brush Unlucky, mate. Come on, Dale.
Dylan
Come on,
looking
Dale.
close.
Come on, Dale.
He's looking good here.
Yeah, he's more over again. Come on.
That's a very bad hold. Dylan and Campbell are not short of finger strength, and that's looking tricky.
And that big, feature at the top there, the big red bubble.
Columbus.
Yeah. It's in the way. You want to kind of
100%.
hang straight, but it's making you go to the left. And
And if you come around it to the right, it's going to be too offset as well.
very awkward.
And like you mentioned earlier, the wall angles deceive as well. So
Yeah, the section of wall there that the big blob is on is probably the best part of 20 degrees overhung, and then you kind of stuck around a little bit of a corner as well.
Yeah, the angles aren't...
it's definitely not pleasant, yeah.
They're not doing you any favours.
But to go back to your point on, we do love a brusher, and I always think that is, like, you can see the kids brushing here now, and everyone, the volunteers doing a great job, and shout out to them. But I do think for athletes brushing their own holds, it's something, if you're competitor watching at home, listen to Tom, it's such a great thing we see, because then, it removes that doubt of, you hit it and you go, I've had a brushed it, or this. Leave nothing to chance. And a few of my favourite climbers we watch mad brushers, and I love it.
Yeah, like my main 2 points with brushing, if you have 20 athletes come out and have all of their attempts, there is so much chalk that goes on those holds, and it fills in the gaps in that 40 grit sandpaper. So basically you start climbing on a marble bench top. It's very, very slippery. So what you want to do is just brush all of that out and get back to that texture, and it makes the hold feel incredibly better.
Yeah, I mean, we see it in, like I say, not competitive athletes, me and Jace, but I hope you don't want me saying that, Jace. Not until the Masters, but yeah, basically, you see it in commercial climbing, where you go to even if it's the set's only a couple of days old, and you give it a good scrub, the difference is night and day. But leading on to that, what would be your ideal preference in a competition? Would you rather be the first one out, or would you rather be the last one in the clubhouse to lead and go out?
I'm not sure. But I think probably somewhere in the middle is nice, but it is also nice to just come out and get into it. You don't need to sit back there and listen or try and block out everything that's happening, and it's nice to just get in, get it done, because there's definitely a lot of opportunity back there while you're having to wait for 20 other athletes to go through. Your brain can play a lot of tricks on you. You can start to sort of lose your mind a little bit, perhaps.
And you might also warm up too soon, because you're like, oh gosh, everyone's training around you, and you're sat there reading your book.
Yeah.
I mean, what's going on here? And you're like, well, do I start now? Do I start? So I guess if you're first, hey, 9 o'clock on the dot, I'm going out, warm up 8:30 or whatever. As we see Clear just about to take this red one on.
And that's where it starts to come into, especially in a round like this, where the athletes...
Very different beta here.
You can do the maths and work out, okay, if I'm number 20, we're doing 5 on 5 off. I know that I'm coming out after whatever it is, 100 minutes of climbing.
Yep.
And if you know your warm-up routine, you just stick to it. You shut out everyone else of what they're doing. You just stick to what you're doing. You don't get excited by like, oh wow, these people are doing a crazy double dyno, I want to jump into that. It's like, no, we can do that after the competition on a nice climbing day all together. It's all about you sticking to your game plan, having a game plan, and making it happen.
Making it happen. Well, it's great to get your insights, Tom. That is for sure. We're well and truly into the competition, folks.
Yeah.
Probably on the back straights, to be honest. So everyone out on the mats right now.
Yes,
want to get a top, that is for sure.
You can see Lucy Sinclair on female boulder 1 on the top of your screen with this real different approach with the back flag leg out there. And
love that big long trailing leg flag. It's
just for balance.
Yeah, they're a beautiful thing to watch, and when you're doing it climbing, you just yeah, it's awesome. There's something about it. I don't know what it is.
No, I think anyone who's tried it understands. Absolutely. And we've got the last male as well, Spencer Menzies is on male boulder 1 just in the background of the top second screen.
I think here on M4, I think from memory, Campbell did this first move quite well. So as I was saying earlier, that terrain where you start is very steep, call it 60 degrees, and then where number 5 is about 45 degrees. And so with that number 5 hold being not very positive, there is a lot of tension and a lot of force pushing your body, like wanting it to flick out. And from memory, Campbell was able to bring as much of his body out as possible once he got one hand.
Yeah, he did a double pinch campus move, really.
Yeah, was able to kind of wash off a lot of that sort of inertia sooner and get as much of his body weight underneath number 5.
So he wasn't.
I think he was the only one who did it that way. You're right. And that was on his very first attempt. He sort of rode the wave of energy, just 2 hands up. His legs came out, canvas to the next, then re-established. It was majestic.
Ooh.
Come on, AJ.
All right, let's see.
I love as well, we get to see a little bit of the athletes' personalities. I'm loving this mean haircut.
Yeah.
I've seen a bleach blonde mullet from Josh Mennel as well.
And
a few athletes that get
Ben
and
Abel
his
had
best friend Ben Abel with the red and blue hair. Bless him.
Racing stripes.
Yeah, Ben's quite creative when it comes to the look, so it's fantastic to see.
I was going to say, it's great. There's great camaraderie between all these athletes, the male and female. It's great to see them all supporting each other, cheering on off screen. When you go into the back training rooms, they're all giving each other tips and tricks. And again, it's unique of climbing. A lot of sports, it's me versus you, and this other climbing is quite opposite. We want to do our best, but we want everyone else to do their best too, and hopefully we'll still be at the top of the ladder at the end of it. But yeah, it's what's so unique about this sport, as we see Max giving that good brush on the left. Obviously heard us. Yeah,
he's making sure. Well, we've got our last athlete out for their first boulder problem, so we're firmly on the home stretch here. It's all to play for, folks, though. If you're just joining us, welcome.
Yeah, welcome.
If you've been here the whole time, thanks for hanging around. Make sure you let everyone know we've got the lead this afternoon, which is the semis, and tomorrow in the afternoon you can find the time on the IFC or the Sports Climbing Australia.
I'm very excited to see the finals boulders after seeing these semis. So varied and exciting. I'm really keen to see what they've set up for the.
In reality, some great setting, really, isn't it? Very entertaining and fabulous for the whole field and the athletes. So,
good splits, yeah.
Well
I'd be interested to see the scoreboard, because I think there's been quite a few. Like this, again, the 2 zones makes a big difference. I think there's been quite a lot of different scoring points by everyone.
For the semi-finals, you can find the scoreboard on the Sports Climbing Australia website or the IFC website, folks. We will have it live for the finals, but we'll find out at the end what the scores are. But for the moment, there's still plenty to play for, and
you don't need it at home just now. You need to sit back and enjoy. Yeah, goodness, just enjoy what you're watching. These blended young athletes have given so much to get here, and they're absolutely putting on a show. So, congratulations to everyone of you. If they, watching it back afterwards, well done to you for, being part of this amazing competition. And if you're living in Melbourne or passing through, I did speak to one of the senior members of the urban team, and they said that Tunde and the setting team of this gym have actually got a goal to have the whole boulder area reset to normal by next Friday.
Wow.
So you're not going to have long to try these climbs, but at the same time, if you're thinking, I want to try this gym as it is normally set, well, less than a week's time, they're hoping to have it back. So credit to the optimism of Tunde and his team, but I think they have a pretty big team at this gym. But it's a phenomenal facility. This is definitely, the pinnacle of climb facilities in Australia, right up there. You agree?
Yeah, absolutely. I came down here just after it opened last year and was absolutely close on M2 there. It's an incredible gym. I would say the most gobsmacking gym I've seen in this country. They've pulled out all the stops. And it's cool to see. I started climbing at Urban Climb West End up in Brisbane back in 2004.
Back when it was a shadow now, right?
Yeah, and to see Urban still around and just lifting the game, it's just incredible. And this gym is just beautiful. And the lead walls especially, far out.
Yeah, wait till you see them, yeah.
They are monstrous. I felt like I was stood underneath a cliff.
Go on forever.
Yeah.
It'll be really testing the athlete's ability to fight off the pump, but also stay kind of mentally switched on. and hold it together for so many moves up such a
well,
steep.
most of the athletes might not have walls this
Well, I was
size
going to say that, yeah. It might be a surprise, and you know, if you're not from Melbourne, you don't get to train on these walls either. So it'll be, like you said, Tom, really interesting to see how they handle that.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, a lot of my endurance training would happen on a small 45 wall under my house, and then you come and jump on a wall like this, and it's an entirely different thing. So
yeah, no, so if you are in the area or you're passing to Melbourne, it's in your plans, add this facility onto your checklist, and you will not be disappointed. And it's one of only 2 facilities that has Boulder Lead and full-size speed in the country as well, which is something else to keep in mind, that it's got full-size speed walls, which we're going to highlight on Sunday when we get the speed underway.
Looking forward to watching that.
Yeah,
we've got some very quick athletes.
Yeah, I was. I'm pretty.
Supposedly,
pretty
there's some, you know, quite a few sub-6s in the 5s.
Yeah, 5.8. I saw one attempt the other day.
And if you tried to do that, I mean, have you come and go, I'll give that a whirl? It's like 45 seconds later.
I was about to say a minute's my go time. I'd say a minute.
Which is fantastic. Oh,
another little Houdini match attempt there from Alex.
Yeah, it's caught a few of the competitors, that one, isn't it?
What's your fastest speed time, Tom?
Yeah. I think it was 7.7 or 7.6.
Still fast. That is fast.
Yeah, and that was, you know, training for the lead and boulder at the same time.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
That was quite bizarre too.
Not even not that it's discreditable, but that's going to say another thing to keep in mind is back when you went to the Olympics, you had to do all 3, whereas now it is split, and you can do speed or lead and boulder separately.
I think that works really well because it gets to. I liked having it be a combined thing because it showed kind of a more well-rounded athlete, as it were, someone that's good across as many disciplines as possible, but you're not necessarily getting the absolute pinnacle of each.
Yes.
Admittedly, there was, you know, Adam Ondra there at the Olympics, and he's a fantastic lead climber and all that sort of thing. But especially for the speed athletes, there are some insanely quick. Cirrus getting a heel up there. That was interesting.
I've seen that once or twice before, but it doesn't really help out.
Yeah, the speed athletes are awesome to watch. The ones that are just dedicated speed, it looks like they're just running along the ground. It's absurd. And yeah, absolutely. If you can come and actually give it a go. I know people that have been climbing their entire lives and haven't climbed as hard as what that speed route is. It's 21 or 6B or something like that. Don't fully quote me on it, but it's no joke. And the athletes are getting up it in sub 8 seconds.
Crazy.
Yeah, I was going to say that's such an incredible thing. Is that I think I watched a video a couple of years ago now when it might have been Alex Hunnell went to a gym and they asked him to try it, and he was like 46 seconds. And he said, look, I wasn't going my fastest, but he said, geez, you know, and like, you know, that's the guy known for so many accolades around.
Well, the speed on the nose. May not working that one out just yet, but I did check in, folks, if you're interested on the scoreboard so far, or so far, Harrison for the male, Harrison,
Campbell Harrison
in position 1, Sam Levender in position 2, Dylan Parks in 3, Ben Abel 4, Maxim in number 5.
And Max has still got 2 to go as well. So Max is in a great position.
In a good spot. Joshua, Oscar and Max Thomas are the top 8 at the moment, but like Ian said, there's still a few more bowlers and competitors to go.
Oscar Wolf looked really strong. We saw him just fall on the top of male 2 a couple of times, but he looked really in control.
Yep. And Oceana up in number 1, Maya right there in number 2, Judith, Azaria, Amanda, Emily, Mackenzie, and Misha from New Zealand. We've got 3 of the New Zealand athletes and
cool. And still a few to go. We see Clea trying to get this women free there as well.
Now, don't quote us on that one, folks. That is live from the IFC website. However, it might be a little delayed. So
synthetic knee bar. Oh, there you go. Need a knee there. Look at that,
she made that knee bar before. It helped her get into the hole, but not necessarily out of it. So again, it's an awkward position to get into it, like on men's number 3, I think it is.
It's a cute tactic, though, standing on top of your other leg to get the knee bar in.
The knee bar stack.
The creativity of some of these athletes is awesome. And sometimes, as I was saying earlier, thinking outside of the box and trying something a little bit weird can actually unlock something that is very helpful for you, and the route setters didn't really see.
She's going to have to piano as well. No,
powering out on that one.
So look, he's trying the Campbell approach there.
Yeah, it's a nice, like, slow wash off of speed. AJ on that steep, big half moon boulder.
Yeah,
looking tricky.
1 minute left. Come on. So, as we mentioned, now we're on to the final hurdle. So there were no more male competitors on male boulder 1. As we move forward, last female on female 1, and then we're moving through them now. Let's see how we go here. So come on, AJ.
Oh, Lucy looking close there. That was pretty good. A little bit more height, perhaps, while hitting the middle of those 3 holds. Could be good. If you get a little bit more height in the body, you can have a little bit more control.
Yeah.
And then really flick over in the way that she was doing to get that 3rd hold in that jump sequence.
The thing about dynos at Terras is just the commitment required to do them is you really have to believe the move and just give 100%, like you say, really hit them.
Switched up the beta there at the end, but not to be, yeah. Not to be. And the next round, we have a bit of a 15-second gap in between boulder problems, and then the next wave of competitors comes out from behind the curtain over there, so you'll see them run around in a moment, and here they go. Got Roxy leading the charge.
So let's see how Max goes here. So
Alex rolling out for his last boulder. A couple of the athletes that have finished now, heading off. They'll be getting some electrolytes in, probably a bit of protein, carbohydrate, refuel the body, and get themselves just kind of mentally switched off before leading into their lead warm-ups.
A little bit more overcast here today, so that's quite good actually for the gym and the athletes. It tended to warm up over the last couple of days inside the gym, so hopefully it stays a bit cooler for their lead efforts this afternoon.
Nice temperature now, Jason, here. You're right, yeah, absolutely. So we see Max here about to go. I'm backing Alex to get boulder 4 as well. I've got a feeling here, just seeing in the bottom left of your screen. Max is looking really, really good today.
I think Max is actually, despite, we were reading out the scores before, I think he was about in 4th, but that was only after 2 boulders. Yeah. So he's the only one to have topped those first 2 boulders, and that's given him a lot, and he's looking
looking very strong.
2 for 2, and I think he flashed the second one. Oh, not to be a flash.
That's going to happen.
Yeah, and you could see his hips sort of come away from the wall there a little bit, and he wasn't directly underneath it. So
it's hard. He's searching. It looked like he was kind of working out whether he goes left hand up, right hand up. Do I flick in? Do I go hard? Like it's always, especially on that flash go.
Oh, nice! Looks so strong.
Roxy,
powerhouse from Roxy.
Yeah. Come on. Well, now make it
this
stay.
is the best I've seen it look. She's looking good there. Come on.
Oh,
that final hole must be garbage. Absolutely. And not the line of holes. Come on. And I want to see Alex get this one.
Yeah. Well, like I said before, Tom, he would have learned a lot from that attempt, and he'd probably know a bit more about those holes at the top for the next go. So
yeah, and he can attack those lower moves with a lot of confidence. Sometimes on that first go, you're climbing a little bit hesitant, not really sure, what's this hole going to be like, what's that body position. Second go up, it's just like, oh, thanks for coming. I know this is awesome. I'm going to roll under there, move my feet, and as he rolls out, looking super controlled.
Yeah.
He'll find his position. He knows what to do.
Got his foot a little bit further to the right this time.
Nice and steady.
Yeah. Oh,
come on.
He's good.
Easy peasy.
Dominant.
Well,
dominant. 3 for 3.
You're dead right, Tom. He is absolutely dropped the clutch on this one, and
well, that'll put him straight into
the top. So that's a dominant position.
Yeah.
So he's currently, if what we're reading is correct, he's currently about 5 points ahead of Campbell
with one
with one boulder to go. So like I was talking about before, leading into the lead round, that's going to be worth a few moves. So you get a little bit of that help up your sleeve there. So if he can grab 5, 10, 25 points on the next boulder, M4, which Alex is currently on, it gives him a lot of buffer and a lot of light between him and the rest of the athletes potentially.
Yeah,
which is a massive confidence boost going into the next round.
And I suppose especially if, let's say your specialty is, let's say, I don't know, boulder or lead or the other way round. If you get out ahead in your specialty, then you might feel a bit more confidently too.
Yeah, you absolutely want to be exploiting and having as best a round as possible in your preferred discipline.
Yep.
I definitely felt like that with my lead. I really wanted to do well, which was always tricky because that ended up being, the last one.
The last one.
If bouldering's your specialty and you have a good boulder round, you can move with confidence to the next bit. If you had a dud with bouldering and then you're going into lead, suddenly all the pressure's on. That
fair bit to make up then. Yeah.
Well, the thing about lead that always excites me is the permanence of it's just the one attempt. That's something. With bouldering,
boulder.
With bouldering, you fall off. I just got that one wrong. There's always the option of redemption next attempt, or even next boulder, so to speak. With lead, it's one climb, one go, 6 minutes ticking, away we go. And it's just something quite magical about the difference between the two.
There's the scores popping up there. Yeah, and with that lead climbing as well, like it's an on-site format, so the athletes will come out, have their 6 minutes of viewing. And then they go off into isolation and they come out one at a time and attempt it. So, the pressure really is on to try and work it all out.
Well, you can see 3 tops there for Maximin, Harrison 2, Sam 2. So, folks, if you're seeing the bars on the right-hand side, you can see, 3 sections. The first one is the 5, second one is the 15, the 10, and the 25 is the top. It fills it up. So that's where we are right now, and later on we'll add that to the lead score. Those scores will be back a bit later, but that's where we sit right now.
So we're seeing AJ now take on his 4th and final climb as well. So realistically, he needs to hit the top to sort of put himself back in contention there.
And there's the women's as we sit at this moment, but like we said, there's a few more competitors to go. But Oceano, 3 tops, Maya 1, but got the 10. And,
so we see Clear Hall currently in 9th position with this one to go as well. So again, need some points on this one to go into the lead with at least that top 8 position to defend.
You can see in those scores as well the daylight between Osh and Maya that's super helpful leading into that next lead round. Means that even if, heaven forbid, there's a foot slip or something down low from Osh, she's got 30 points, which could be a third
could make all the difference.
Up her sleeve, which is
well, there you go. That's the strategic mind of a competitor right there. Doing math. To be a good competitor, do you need to be great at math in your head?
It's fun adding it up down here, isn't it? We sit there looking at them like 4-4. That is great. Yeah.
I would always just try and not look at any of the scores while I was competing, because for me,
even at the intermission,
wouldn't look.
Okay.
Like it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I've got to just show up and lead climb next.
Yeah. And you're going to do the best you can anyway. It doesn't. You weren't going to put a half effort in today because
I couldn't help but look, Jace. I'm sorry. I tip my hat to you, but you must have discipline to the yin yang.
It was just like, it happened, and you do get a bit of a sense. Like people, the athletes will all be talking, and how'd you go on that? I didn't quite. Blah blah blah. But I just always wanted to just show up and go climbing.
Yep. Fair call.
A purist. No, that's it. That's why you live in the Blue Mountains.
Well, the rest is just unnecessary noise. Me knowing that I'm in 5th adds 0 to my performance.
No benefit.
I think.
No, that's great.
Some people use it as a motivator to really drop the clutch and just put everything on it. But I think as you go through the competitions, it's fun to experiment with what works best for you. I know a lot of the athletes like yourself who want to have all of that information. It makes them feel happy, psyched,
aware of what's going on or whatever.
Furious, probably. But no, it's really interesting because it's one of those things. And like you say, at this point, especially like semi-final, end of Boulder, it is almost a, unimportant figure because all you want to do is make the 8, and then it becomes day 2 tomorrow finals is where it's really going to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Make or break as such.
There will be a little bit of countback potentially, or at least today's results can come into effect with countback. So if there's any ties or anything like that tomorrow, today's positions will be used to. We might be.
Ooh, nice.
Good
Come
point.
on.
Good
You
point
see
to make.
squeezing in really nice and hard there.
Come on.
Did you see how she did the move to the 10 hold as well? It was like semi-static dead point.
Well, she had a little cheeky toe hook under it, which was good. Which was good.
I like that. Here we go. Oh no, we missed it on the replay.
And clear.
Nice too. Have a look at her elbow. Really tucks in closer to the wall,
keeping her in close.
And it changes the angle of the hand and can make that hand a little bit more positive. So there's little things like that you can do. I just didn't quite find a balance point. That definitely looks like a route where you want to find the balance point before you come up to match rather than finding the balance point as you match.
Oh, very interesting. I see clear
clear on number 4.
Come on, mate.
Arguably she needs a little bit of this. Yep.
Come on.
Again, that's that energy meter you talk about.
Good tension through her toes there as well.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a couple of the athletes that potentially could have had the height to reach that, but ended up cutting loose or turning it into a bit of a campus. Having that strength to keep tension right on the tippy toe.
She's gone again.
She's giving it a whirl at the top.
Well, credit for effort.
Proud effort there.
That was incredible, yeah.
There's some of these athletes that maybe are on that cusp of making finals or not that really need to leave it all out on the mats. So having those couple of attempts and really just giving it everything gives them every possible chance.
Where did we see Roxy sat as well? I think because she's got 2 left as well.
Yeah, we've got Roxy, Lucy and Rebecca all to do women's 4, I believe.
Yep.
And where we
so we're seeing Max now maybe go for the quad.
And he's on the brush.
Yeah, I like
Good
that.
lad.
I like that, you see. Hey, Tom's in aisle, Jace is in. That's it. I love it. But that's good. I'd love to see the version. If can he be the first to top this and the first one for us? So
and he's only had, I think, 2 or 3 falls, a handful of them at least.
Yeah, his energy conservation's been good too.
Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, this is a route setter's dream if the last boulder tops this as well, because then it's 5-star.
Look at this with his bodies, kind of
nice
slow wash off.
Yeah,
nice.
And again, it's really deceiving, the angle on the camera. You think, that's straight up and down, but no, it's overhung. Try look at that.
There you go. The running gun's got it.
Well done,
camera crew. Deep, thanks, gang.
Well done. Yeah, it'd be great to see. You could see his body if we can stay on that shot. We'll see his body as he kicks out.
Yeah, just establishing on that angle for a novice climber is on any hole, and jugs is difficult. These are
Roxy
not jugs.
getting up into that Gaston underclean here.
Looking very solid on it, really.
She's climbed beautifully today as well.
Come on,
Fire up and
that last hole's
coordinate.
good. We know that last hole.
The toe hook. Oh, tricky. Okay, Max is in that steep terrain. He's washed off the speed. Little campus pop.
She probably needs a little bit more momentum to hit that toe hook. Nice, Maxine. Come on, Max.
Not looking quite as comfortable on the mincy edge as he is on that big fat slope.
Yeah. And the pain that can be in your fingers after intense competition, and then you bang onto something small, and it's like it.
Absolutely.
It's like you're gripping onto glass.
Come on. Nice.
Oh, 3-finger drag. There you go. Well,
Need to have the hand on quick.
Actually, Tom, we've got a question for you. Ian and I throw this question down to everyone we meet in the climbing circuit. You know, socks or no socks? What's your opinion?
I think that's your
It's
debate.
not a question.
Oh, it is. Trust me, there's been polls. Yeah.
No, it's absolutely no socks in my climbing shoes. But then you see climbers like Natsuki Tani from Team Japan, who's won lead World Cups, and she's rocking socks.
Yeah.
So
Well, this is the sort of person that causes the debate. That's the sacrilege.
yeah.
We firmly agree no socks. But
The exception doesn't prove the rule, though.
correct. Yeah, that's fine. We'll take that. All
We'll
day.
take it. We'll take it. Yeah, they're from our own Olympian, folks. It's a.
But it comes down to feel as well. Some people really love it. For me, a really nice tight pair of climbing shoes feels comfortable.
Feels good.
For other people, not so much. And so, again, it's just whatever feels good for you. Some people want to know what the score is. Some people don't. Some people want to have that feeling of a yucky sock in their yucky climbing shoes.
Some people want to discuss Jason.
Oh, come on,
yeah.
Roxy.
No, for
There
all
you
those,
go.
those cyclists that wear
Roxy
socks.
feeling a bit there. She's dropped that a couple of times. She's going to have hopefully a good rest and give it all on her last attempt.
Yeah,
she's definitely got a lot of time.
That toe hook seems quite awkward. It's kind of a weird one where you got it really high on the hip. It's not a straight leg one. So
Yeah. And it's difficult because you've almost got to have your left eye looking at your handhold and your right eye looking down for the leg.
It's a good time to be a frog.
Yeah, it's quite difficult.
Yeah, no.
And it'd be one of those ones that once you feel the movement, you could hit it every time.
Yes.
But until you get your eye in for it, come on, Max. Mincing down there, the thumb goes over, full crimp.
he's got
he
a heel.
healed? He's in.
Oh.
Wow.
Come
All
on,
right,
Max.
This is
We'd love to see it
good
top.
adjustment.
Be good for the crowd and for Max for sure.
Come on, mate. WA is going to be going nuts over this.
Yeah, oh my gosh. There's just
Arguably
nothing
he's got
above
to
it
get
here.
around to the left a bit more.
Kind of just have to
trying
hang off
something else.
that one half pad. We should get the
Roxy again.
camera zoomed in onto how bad that finish is.
Oh.
It is obscene. I don't think you'd be able to. You need a lens that can get to space.
Yeah, I think the lens is not strong enough.
There's
It's that
nothing-
small.
There's nothing in that, basically. It's like red paint in a circle.
It's a tough one for Roxy, leaving that last boulder, having fallen off that last move a couple of times. But she can hold her head up high. She's had a good round there.
Yeah, still a really
Absolutely.
solid couple of tops in.
Well, it looks like she's still in the top 8 though.
Yeah.
So that hasn't updated just yet, but we'll see. She was just a moment ago, but all right. We've got our last 2 competitors on the wall. I think that's it. Oh, there might be one more after this. I think, let's say Victoria. Yeah, one more after this, Victoria.
No,
sorry, wrong way round.
No, I think this is the last 2.
That's Lucy, and I think Rebecca.
Yes. Rebecca will come
Yeah,
on her
Rebecca
own,
one
won't she?
more
She'll come
by
on her own,
herself.
yeah,
Yeah,
of course,
because we had one of the gents.
Aiden,
Aiden unfortunately.
We wish you the best speedy recovery.
Yeah,
It's
Aiden.
actually, I just found out his birthday today as well.
Oh,
So
there you go. Happy birthday.
yeah, I didn't want to say that. Yeah, birthday, my friend. Yeah, but yeah. Wish you a speedy recovery. Good say, a lot of talent.
Here's another one. He's come over from Western Australia, so it's a long way to come to
to not compete.
Yeah.
No, well, I did find out. I was going to say, I spoke to his family, and he's actually not. They've sent him to a hotel to relax by a pool. He hasn't come to. He didn't have to fly to Melbourne.
Oh, there you go.
He unfortunately did it in a comp prep last week, and it's ruptured tendon.
Brutal.
Yeah.
That's a thing that is just really hard, actually, with the level of training that all of these athletes are going through. It's staying uninjured as well, and working out how much do I push in this training session, how much do I push in this training cycle to get the most out of myself and get the most gains, but staying away from that
stay
injury
fit and healthy,
line.
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as part of your preparation, like you're cycling up and cycling down and trying to get the right rest days and all that sort of stuff, or is it just, your very regular training?
It was essentially regular training, but with the little fluctuations throughout. So in the lead up to the qualifying event that we had, and then the actual games for Tokyo, I was working with a coach for the first time.
Yeah, gotcha.
I'd always been kind of essentially self-trained, essentially, and I used training, self-trained. I kind of just went climbing all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, was being coached by Lee Cossey,
Yeah.
who's a good friend, excellent Australian climbing legend, physio coach. Like he knows a lot, and yeah, it was awesome to be able to just switch my brain off and get the wealth of information from him, and all I needed to do was just show up and do what
Yep.
he said.
Yep.
Absorb, yeah.
But it was also a little bit tricky because I'd spent 15 years doing it by myself. To put all of that commitment in someone else to, this was
Wow.
the method I was hoping I'd see.
All the way.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was scary to put all of that commitment in someone else, as much as their credentials
Yep.
and everything like
Yep.
that. It's like, well, I've gotten to here by myself, but sometimes you need to take that approach of, what got me here won't get me there.
Yes.
So, it was invaluable, the work that...
credit to that mindset, yeah. It's cool.
What Lee did for me was totally awesome. And even just being accountable to someone.
Yes.
Like, to actually get those sessions done and all that.
Oh, I won't do the last rep. I'll just leave that one. I've done enough tonight.
Yeah.
No. All right, we're getting it done.
But I'd have the training program printed out on a bit of paper and, have to strike out the exercises. And that was really good as well, because it was like physically accountable right there. I'd see that there was one strike mark missing on that exercise or whatever it was. I wonder if we're going to see the same method
Come on,
here.
stick to it. She's
Winding up.
Stick into it.
Closer and closer, a minute to go.
And it looks
One
like
more
that could
attempt.
work with a few more cracks at it.
Yeah,
but
one more big attempt, I think.
53 seconds to do it. Maybe not. But
I'm wondering here, it's looking like she's coming up a little bit short on this jump. I think the way the jump might work is if you've got a big swinging leg that really stomps up onto that high left.
Yeah. A little bit more of a...
And then you've got a little bit more of a dynamic momentum, rather than that left leg really only comes into
That
there.
last push,
And it's really pushing her away rather than upwards, isn't it? Yeah. Anyway, well...
Do you try... She's
what-
going the
do you
same
try
again.
something different?
I do think, now you've highlighted
It's
that.
close enough to feel like maybe just a bit more oomph and I'll get there, but
Right,
And
last
you also,
attempt.
when you're that close, you get kind of narrow vision.
Blinkers on, yeah.
I hope we see. Come on. Go for it. 10 points would be massive.
Oh, there you go.
Fair effort.
So now we will see our final climber.
Rebecca Hunsel from New Zealand, our final climber. She's going to be
Will she do it for you, Tom? She's going to do the beta for you.
the last one. And while we wait for her to come out, folks, we will take a small break for about 2 hours, and then we'll be back with the lead climbing this afternoon. Like Ian mentioned before, it'll be in the same order, and tomorrow will be a little different. So make sure you don't go away, folks. We will stop the stream and start a new one. So make sure you log back in, keep an eye out for that one, and there's plenty to play for, folks. There is an Olympic spot for the top two athletes, I believe. The top male and the top female available at this competition.
That'll be handed out tomorrow at the end of the competition. Whoever ends up on top at the end of the day will be handed that ticket to Paris.
Yeah.
And someone's dream will come true.
Amazing.
Not a bad place to be heading for the competition.
Absolutely,
Little
absolutely.
croissant.
Yep.
Baguette.
Oh, you've got all the dialect down, haven't you?
yeah.
The lingo.
And arguably the home of climbing, really, isn't it? You know, the French, and I don't know if that's true or not, but
The French
is
have
now.
certainly had a really strong presence in competition climbing and outdoor climbing for a very long time. Especially up through all the Pyrenees and the Alps and all that sort of stuff around through Europe. There was a lot that's happened.
Certainly very European to be in the mountains, Australia, not so much, but if you live in the Blue Mountains or somewhere like that,
We were talking
living the
earlier
dream.
and saying
Yeah.
there are some we are quite lucky in Australia. We have some spots, not obviously as, the jumping a car for 2 hours being a different country's worth, but, Grampians, Arapalis, Blue Mountains, you know, Frog up in Queensland is. We've got some bloody spectacular spots to climb, you know. I need to be doing some more push-ups, and maybe Tom can coach us now. No, that's it, Tom.
We'll go hang out, that's for sure. Well,
We're
Rebecca,
a cool jump up into the undercling here.
Trying to do the double, isn't
double
it?
undercling,
Yeah.
which
And
is
then
crazy.
If she attempts it again, just have a look at what her right leg is doing as she's jumping up into that. Because the foothold that she's using is off to the right of the center of balance for the hands, her right leg's kind of searching to come through in front of her body. Let's have a look. There you go. To try and counteract that that momentum and swing. So it's kind of like a stiff kind of smear flag.
She almost needs to kick a bit hard or something.
Yeah, and this is definitely one of those moves where she's going to have to think about like essentially what the end position is. So where does my body need to be to hang on to this? And rather than trying to jump up and hold the hold, I'm going to just jump up and get my body into that end position, and then my hands will kind of just follow suit. All of the intuition that she's got from years and years and years of climbing will kick in and will just kind of happen. So it's looking good, but not much time left, and attempting
Another 2 or 3 attempts maybe, depending on where she falls.
Oh, yeah,
she's
changed the leg position to the back. Yeah. Now make it
toe
time.
hook.
No, she'll hit it first time. Come on. Oh.
Looking good. The foot was definitely in the right spot. The hands were looking pretty good. Just needed to hold on a bit of that tension.
Like you say, she knows she can do it all up to that final move. Now take 10, 15 seconds. Big breath. Well focused there. Come on. End us with a top. We always like to finish on a high note.
As much as I love seeing 8 athletes out there climbing, it is nice to have a bit of a break and actually really focus in on one athlete having a go on this one boulder. And yeah,
I think that's what makes the lead play special too. That you get to watch one
A
at
bit of a
time.
change of pace.
I quite like that too.
And then on the opposite for the speed. So, you know, it's great fun.
So we solved the debate of socks. What about watch climbing?
She crossed through on that one as well.
Made it
slightly different again.
All right. Come on.
Yes. Oh, my goodness. 30
little
seconds.
moment.
30 seconds.
I wonder if
come
she'll
on.
jump back on. She looks
Leave it on the mats.
absolutely knackered, but she's going to give it a whirl. Yeah, come on. And it climbs quite fast once she's past this move here. So
This is where the athlete really needs to just settle. She's got time, and you don't want to rush it.
Yeah, a bit rushed. Yeah, you're right. Well,
there you go.
massive credit. Well done
Well
to
done.
each
That
and
was
every
awesome.
one of them.
all right, well, that's it, folks. We are done and dusted for the semi-final boulder round, and the live stream will finish up real soon. But before we do, we might check out the scoreboards if it's available. If not, we might have a quick talk about who's in the lead. But right here in the top spot, we've got Maxim. He's come in with 8